very much have. I just got out of the pool here, so forgive me. All right. Today, kind of a light duty day here at the shop because I'm tired. Have been pushing pretty hard to get orders out, and we did it. We got a lot of orders out. I'm batting clean up on the next last few orders here now. So that's what we're doing tonight. Give me a second. We're going to set up the monitor again, like always. Hey, Jesse Papa Bear, Ezekiel, Michelle, Nightmare Fuel Studios. Great to see you guys on. Okay. Well, Jordan, they're not sheet ghosts. What I'm doing tonight is I've got to do LEDs and paint and hair on a ghost mask that I have sold recently. Hello, Lisa and Jim and Spastic, and Jordan and Donner, and Blitzen. Hugo is confused. Right now it's just me, Hugo. Shannon might join us later. She's got some stuff going on over at the house. But I want to get into the shop and get done. I'll probably wrap up a little bit earlier tonight than normal. This is the mask that we did yesterday. Remember we added all this stuff to it? I just masked off the LED so I don't paint those. And I painted the mask so that it is, painted. Let's get started here. What will happen in paradise today? Indeed. Well, he's coming along. Here's this Krampus mask. He is coming along. I want to get my... All right. Contact cement brush. It's hard. It's useless. It's not, actually. If I put it in here, it'll magically get soft again. I'll just have to wait a little bit. Also, at some point in time, someone recommended ginger Sprite, sugar-free to me. It's delicious, thank you. It's in my cup right now. I reuse cups, so this Jack in the Box cup is probably a week old. Hello, cobwebs. Yeah, I am starting a little bit earlier because I'm probably going to wrap up a little bit earlier. I don't have a lot of steam in my engine today. I'm not going to lie to you, so I just want to get her done. Let's go in the other room. I've already plugged you in, too. What is your percentage? It won't tell me. Now it should. You're about 50. You're fine. Now, I won't be able to see comments for just a bit because I'm leaving the room with the TV. That is our shipping station. It's pretty recent. This is the part of the molding area. Turn the fan off. Powder this while I'm at it. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Texas kind of opened back up today. Who knows? Let's see how that plays out in the long run. I had to go out. I didn't want to go out, but I had to go out. Go to Walmart. If you have to go to Walmart, you're desperate. That's what that means. Okay, that is a inbred 1 blank to fill out an order for I say it's for the wife. My wife didn't order it, but she does all my packing and stuff. So there. And this is the battery holder that I was talking about yesterday. That'll hold the battery on the mask. Let's go clean that up and attach it. Everybody is saying hello. That's wonderful. Hope everybody's doing good. Ezekiel, how is the kitten? My wife is infatuated with your kitten. Jordan, we're going to get to the ghost after we get to, we're going to go a little deeper on the Krampus first. What I'm doing now is I'm taking the flashing off of this. And flashing is just excess. You can see what was meant to be molded. There's a line right there. And I'm cutting that off. And this is a battery holder. So this top end is meant to be open. So I'm going to cut it off. And I cut out that piece. Hello, Bradley G. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. You know what? It's so. I'm not in a position to call anybody wrong. You know, it's just so weird. What an unprecedented situation. People are scared for all kinds of reasons. People are scared the economy is going to tank. People are scared they're going to get sick and die. People are getting scared that we're going to kill each other's grandmothers, and I get it. Joke's on them. I'm all out of grandmoms. All right, so this is my battery holder, you know. Yeah, I actually think that we might have a rise in cases and then shut down again after about 3 weeks from now. I think we'll open all the way back up, and then they'll say, "Oh, we have to shut down." That's my big fear. That's what I don't want to happen. So just have a little bit of cleanup inside of this. Some little bubbly pockets. And that's going to go right back here. Thank you, Ghost Scare. I appreciate that. You know, I don't know what the answers are. You know what? And I'm not even comfortable guessing. I'm gonna just right now, listen to the folks in charge until I see it doing something bad, and then I'll say, hey, that ain't good. Probably going to err on the side of people's lives more than the side of commerce. But, I mean, I chose to be an artist for a living. It's obvious I don't care much about money. If money was a huge priority, I wouldn't be in the haunted house business. Ghost Scare Effects, thank you so much. You're very kind. And Michael Lassiter is on. Good to see you on, sir. Once again, it's the ginger Sprite. Delicious. Somebody on here recommended it to me. There are 38 people. We already have 4 thumbs up. We haven't done anything fun or cool yet. That's great. One of these Gravedigger masks. This edge right here didn't get glued down as well as I'd like. So I'm going to let that sucker. Yeah. All right. So now that's drying. Alexa, countdown 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Starting now.
This is the ghost mask, and we're going to put LEDs in her eyes. So, Linda, you don't. If you want me to say hi to you, you kind of have to comment. Not so that you can be. I mean, you count. You're an important person, but I don't know that you're there because I don't have anything that tells me who's watching. You know, I kind of get to interact with the ones who type at me, and then I can speak back. So, yeah. Hello, Linda. At least I have a calming voice to listen to. You know what? That's there's a lot of people who come up to me at the haunt shows, the haunt trade shows, and I don't know if I take this as a compliment or not, but they say, I put on all your videos on all the time at night to go to sleep because your voice is so calming. Thanks. That's a little weird. And then Mary puts on my Scary Mary puts on my videos because it makes her dog less neurotic when they leave the house. They leave the videos on and someone talking, and so there you go. Okay. Yeah. Where's a good place to buy the bust you have? Asylum Props. Hey, Debbie Ellis. Hello in California. If I wanted to glue a vinyl mask to an EVA foam helmet, I'd probably go with contact cement, Ezekiel. Vinyl and EVA or both respond pretty well to contact cement. I could do an audiobook in my massive spare time, which I don't have. Grinning Tiki, 220. I like that name. That's a good name. I get you, Spastic. I could do one of those Jeff Bridges relaxation tapes. That's what I could do. Did you guys see the commercial for those a while back? I need to turn on my hot glue gun. Because we're about to do Ghost Eyes. Ghost Eyes have seen a lot of sheets, but they're never going to see sheets like they have with you. Yeah, so in most of my LED masks, here's where my eyes sit, and right there is where the LEDs sit. So I can kind of see that they're on, but they have their own place. And it's not something that's going to blind you. So on cassette tape for no reason, because no one has cassette tapes. Thanks, Bradley. This was very different from my normal style when I sculpted it, because if you look, the brows go down. The brows go down a little bit, and most of mine are very angry, and I wanted this to be a little bit sad. So it's more of a sad sculpture. Thank you. Hello, Robert White from Oklahoma. Actually, Robert, I should apologize. One of the makeup artists at Dark Hour, she lives in Oklahoma. Her name is Cash. And she'll come down and work Dark Hour every now and then. And well, she made a post today, and it said, "Where can I get rid of garbage furniture that's not nice enough to sell?" And being a Texan, I really wanted to, but I didn't reply. We just drive it to Oklahoma. So sorry about that. Yeah, my stuff, I do end up being pretty stylized. I definitely have a look that my stuff ends up with. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's the truth. Okay. I'm waiting on a hot glue gun to heat up so I can glue in LEDs. And then I'm waiting on contact cement. So this is going to be a half mast, and I need to elastic it. So I'll get my elastic kit out. I have to find my elastics kit. I found it. You drive your trash to Texas, huh? That's fair. I will say something for, because Texas touches a lot of states. When you're driving from Texas to Oklahoma, you kind of barely notice because Texas has pretty good roads. And you get to Oklahoma, and maybe they're a little bumpier, but maybe the asphalt's different or whatever, and that's the only change. But as soon as you cross, Alexa, stop. As soon as you cross from Texas into Louisiana, it's like, holy moly, people, pay your taxes because the roads in Louisiana are just potholy and bumpy. They're rough. You can really tell the difference as soon as you drive over that line. Where can you buy latex for cheap locally? I live in Calgary, Canada. Thanks. I don't know a lot about Canadian latex places. I can look it up. You're probably just as close to Ohio as I am for shipping. And Talmadge, Ohio is where there's a latex factory there called Chemionics. Chemionics, Chemionics, and they sell latex. But if you can send me that in like a message, either an email or a Facebook message or even a YouTube message, then I'll be able to sit at a computer and look it up and help you out with that and really help you find a good solution. Oh, did you like your mask? Your corner board? Did you like your mask? That's awesome. Yeah, you got yours fast because you're close by. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. See, now I have this little pocket. See this little pocket I've got? Just goes, boop, put a battery right inside of it. Just like that. Glues on the mask, ready to go. Awesome. Yeah, post links to your channels, guys. Send them to Michael Lassiter or Scott if he's on, and they can post those links for you. I'm just marking dots where the straps will go. Oh, very cool, building a workspace. I like that. And someone asked about getting these busts. I don't know if I answered or not. Monster Makers sells a bust called the Ed Head Bust. This is an Ed Head Bust 2.0. You can also buy these from Biddy Mold Supply. You can also buy these guys from a company called Asylum Props. Michael Lassiter, do you have a link to Asylum Props? Are they still doing things? I know that things are really weird right now. National Theater's Frankenstein today. Well, that's cool. Was it good? I hope it was good. One strappy dappy. Hey, Scott Colhart. Two strappy dappy. I put 2 straps on every mask. Bit more of a secure hold that way. I'm gonna put. I need to clean my workspace. See how I have this? This table is all clogged up. Let's take a second. Asylum Props ask for the Ron Perlman. Exactly. Hello, Stacy. I am by myself right now. Yes, that is very true. Shannon will be out later. Do these eyes look blue now, or they look white like yesterday? They look purple, but they're so blue here in person. Over here, yeah, they look very purple. Interesting. I know that we're you're not asking me, you're talking to each other, but I had a storage shed built behind my house. I found a company on Facebook Marketplace, and it was an amazing deal they built on site. I was very happy with it. Might be that your Facebook Marketplace has similar deals and similar offers. Remember this flap I put glue in? Let's glue that down. No one likes a wonky flap, do they? No. Okay. I'm kind of just working to get these projects finished up, so I might be going in a little bit of circles, how I do, but I'm bringing things up to speed finish-wise. I really only mark it with a Sharpie so that when I'm pushing through the double cap rivet, I'm able to find the hole easier. Otherwise, the latex kind of self-seals back up, and you have a hard time knowing where did I put that hole. Like how I cleaned off the back of the table but didn't make myself any more room. I'm still working on the front 4 inches of the table. Give me a second. I'm your friend. I'm not your smart friend. Nor am I super focused today. And I'm kind of working on the same stuff that I worked on yesterday, so I'm not going to be getting rid of a lot on this table because I'm going to use it. But I've never used the oven, so I don't need it. Okay, that gives me a little more room. Oh. Okay. We're gonna get a tough shed video. That's awesome. All right, again, I use double cap rivets. There's a piece that looks like this on the ground. There's a piece that looks like this. There's a piece that looks like this, and they're going to fit together, and I'll squeeze them together with pliers. Go. And these straps that I'm using are already cut, and I used a soldering iron to put a hole through them so that they were very easy to mount. You can push the end of the double cap rivet through the elastic weave, but it takes a good bit of work. It was like a horror flea market. We're on Saturday morning, well, Saturday afternoon, but yes. Lack of focus is a thing today. Normally I don't have that. I'm a pretty focused guy most of the time. You know what? You guys might not even see that because a lot of the times when you see me, I'm actually pretty wiped out. Used to be every time I went live, it was after I'd already been at work for 8 or 10 hours. My plan is to try and watch some TV later today. Bella's fine. She had a fine morning. She is doing well. So far, the cone survives. It is hanging on by a thread. I think I will need a second cone before 10 days is up. I think we're at like 4 or 5 days now. And the cone is looking rough. It's in rough shape. I'm going to do something that I tell every mask maker to do. Try your masks on. See if they're comfortable. See if you can see. See if you can breathe. And if you can't, change something. Because I have asked a mask maker, I said, yeah, when I had this mask, I had a real hard time seeing out of it. And he said, well, yeah, I noticed that too. Why don't you fix it? Make it so you could use it. That's a good fit. I'm happy with it. No weird pressures. That's good. Okay. Your Corona caterpillar. Give you a cone. So, this is terribly personal, but one time when I was making kissy faces at my wife, she coined the term puckered guppy cat butthole. Uh, and I can see it. Like a puckered guppy cat butthole. She kisses me anyway, so I call that a win. Oh, I will. This is for you. That's right. I can put a cyno in here right now, and this is for a prop, right? This won't be worn by someone per se, but I'm going through the normal steps. Right. Any guy with a mustache making kissy faces, puckered guppy cat butthole. Hmm? That's funny, Michelle. That's funny. Okay. A monkey butthole. Now that, watch, my viewers are like rapidly declining. Soup coolers. I've not heard that term. That sounds like a 30s term to me. I don't know why. Okay. So I got a little bit of latex off of my floor, actually, because this was a spill from pouring up. But I'm going to put this on the mask so I have a place to put a battery pack. You don't want the, yeah, 100 dislikes. I believe it. You don't want the battery to rest right on your head. You want to have some kind of barrier between it. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. So I'll tell you guys, it's so cool to be able to pop in the shop, hop on, and it's like all my friends are here. You know what I mean? That you guys keep watching over and over again. That's astounding to me. I guess I don't know. Weird. It's good. It's good weird. Bad word bad, good weird good. I'm feeding in the LED. Okay. You know what? There's just something calming, and you're with watching Bob Ross. It's calming, and he is producing something. I have a personality flaw where something has to be gained, something has to be benefited. Holy moly! I don't know who did that. Is that Psycho Axe Man? Psycho. That was for the puckered guppy cat butthole, wasn't it? That's what that was for. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So what I will do on them is I will bend the wires on the inside so they go actually up here, and they'll actually come out by the temples. And then I run the wires up on the outside. Now this one, I know it's for a prop. It's not really going to be worn, so I probably will run them up the inside. But even then, I'll probably take 5mm EVA foam and put it in there, because that's not a big thing, but even that pushing against your head all night would cause, it would be doing you a concern. You social distance from the housemates. I hear ya. So, yeah, I can imagine that this whole quarantine period would be very difficult if you lived in an apartment. I haven't lived in an apartment in a while, but I can imagine it would be very difficult. And I just made a mistake. I put the glue in before the LED. I'm going to have to pull that out with my fingers. That's a very hot glue gun. Don't do this to yourselves, kids. Okay. There we go. Now I put in the hot glue. Order of operations, pretty huge. When you're mask making, the order of operations is quite the big deal. You know, if you don't apply a barrier when you should, then your mold's going to lock up. All right, so ghost LEDs are in. If you'll excuse me, I have to grab my glasses. Where are they? I have to find where I put my glasses. That's even worse. Aha! I found them. You're a furniture painter for fun. You know what? There's a lot of design principles and things that that we talk about that I know, they cross over to a lot of things. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Furniture painter. That's awesome. Yeah, like my house is a log cabin, and I had to hire a log cabin specialist to fix some wood rot. And it was here when we started, when we got the place. And I kind of said to him, I'm like, I didn't know that there were log cabin specialists. And he said, I didn't know there were year-round haunted house guys. So, there, everything that's out there, there's somebody who does it for a living. And I find that fascinating. Furniture painter. Boy, I bet you have tips and tricks that I would love to learn. Because industry secrets, and when you do something a lot and over again, you get good at it, and you find processes that are effective. I also think that because this is a prop, I'm going to be able to do another little cheat on this. And it's kind of ugly when you extend the wires of the LED with the speaker wire. And I think because we're doing this half mask style, I will be able to just use the battery terminal leads. Newman, I think I get what you're saying. Hold on 1 second. Jesse is the man. What's the horns? It is a frost Krampus, Psycho. Yes, exactly right. Well, it's whenever eminent domain ends up, but I mean not eminent domain. Boy, that's a different law altogether. Public domain. When something becomes public domain, and I think it's 88 years. But beyond that, I mean, lots of people make their own versions of monsters and things from movies. I try to stay away from it. The issue is, it's a lot easier to get someone to buy a character that a company has put millions of dollars into marketing because they know that character, they want that character. It's a lot harder than it is. It's a lot harder to make a character that no one's ever heard of and market that with your own time and energy, probably not millions of dollars, and get people to want to buy that. It's so much harder. That's why so many people, forgive me, rip off stuff from movies, and they make Michael Myers masks, and they make Jason masks, and they make Bagul masks, and they make the nun masks. I mean, because they sell. People already have an affinity. They already like it, and it's easier to sell them. I try not to go down that route. I have people who ask me all the time for intellectual property masks that are not my own. And if I can, I find someone else who's making them and turn them on to them. Or if no one else is making it and I think it'll be fun or I'll learn something, then I'll do it. Yeah, copyright stuff, exactly. Yeah, so this with the antlers is actually going to be a frost Krampus. We'll get him painted tonight for sure. So, yeah. Yes, yes it is. That is irony. Okay, now Nosferatu is a type of vampire. It's not a specific character. And for the record, Happening Mojo just said that Michael Myers was a ripoff of Shatner. Yes, it was. And Nosferatu was actually a ripoff of Dracula. They didn't want to pay for the rights to the Dracula novel, so they changed some names, but it is the exact same story. So, and they actually lost a lawsuit to the widow of Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula. They lost a lawsuit because they stole the rights. The lights are actually blue. They just look purple on camera for some reason. When I put my hand in front of it, it should reflect blue. But, nope, it reflects purple. But it's blue. It's blue in person. Stacy was here yesterday. She can back me up. Nosferatu had a really nice look to him. It's a beautiful classic design. I don't know if you're getting a class on it, but it's something that I feel kind of strongly about because people expect mask makers to just rip off movies and stuff, and I'm not a fan. I don't think that's always appropriate. This tool, by the way, this tool is called a FID, and I love it. It's a leatherworking tool. I use it for poking holes in stuff, and I use this rounded back end for smoothing things out. Like if I really want contact cement to stick, I'll go in with this guy and rub it down because that extra pressure really helps. let's see. Hey, if I can find my hole. I did, I found it. Now let's get these wires through it. I have to get a tool. It is important from a business standpoint. It really is, because if you build your business on someone else's ideas, it's going to lead to problems for you someday. Someday. And if all I sold was other people's ideas, I don't think I'd have a lot of confidence as an artist. Because it's not my decisions that are making the income. The Friday the 13th lawsuit. I'm not very familiar with it, with the lawsuit, but I should look it up. Well, what we're kind of talking about is property rights, intellectual property. And if I make a Michael Myers mask and I sell it, it's someone else's idea that I just stole and made, and I'm selling stolen property. That's so weird, but it's true. Yes, great. So the tool I went to just get was this. This is a little wire loop. It's on an old paintbrush. And I can poke this through that hole, put the wires for the LED through it, and then pull those through, because you can't push the LED wires through. You can make a Michael Myers mask, but yeah. Yes, Spastic's Pug, it's still intellectual property. Dumb and Dumber is an intellectual property. No, it doesn't have to be casted from the same mold. Because even if I completely sculpt Michael Myers from the ground up, why are people buying it? People are buying it because the Halloween franchise, the movie studio, paid a lot of money to market it. It is a character that people are familiar with because the Halloween movies made him popular. If I sculpt Michael Myers and sell Michael Myers, I am stealing, because I am piggybacking on their investment in Michael Myers. And there are companies out there who get the licenses. Trick or Treat Studios, they have the license to make Michael Myers masks. So when I am illegally making Michael Myers masks, I'm actually taking money away from them who are legally making them, because that's merchandise that people want, which is obviously why some mask makers make them. try to either get the license or make your own things. I think that's huge for what we do. Cobwebs, while you bring up a point, but what have I done? I have done the work of investing time in creating content to go on YouTube for 12 years now. And if I have some small degree of notoriety, it's because I put in that effort. But and there are other mask makers and makeup artists who are way more talented than me, without doubt. It's a lot of my sales. I know that they're not because my work is awesome. My work is good, and I make sure it's quality. But a lot of it's because I'm a nice guy, and I'm nice to people, and I answer questions, and I want to help, and I'm accessible. And that's why I think I sell some things. But that's my brand that I have adopted. Hooray, wife should be in shortly. Yeah, you don't, but the world doesn't need another Michael Myers mask, and that's just like an example. I mean, anything from a movie. When I make Demogorgon suits and costumes, now I have made a couple that were not going to people who had a license, but those I actually made for auctions. And they went to auctions who were auctioned off for charity or to help run organizations. So those pieces I didn't make any money on, so I didn't make those for profit. I made those as an auction giveaway for someone else, like Don't Be a Monster. They got a Demogorgon mask, I think, and gloves. And otherwise, I've made them for people who have the license. I made them for Universal Studios for their Halloween event. So, they were allowed to use it. But anyway, yeah, you can. There are haunted houses all the time who use pictures of the Leprechaun from the Leprechaun movies for their March St. Patrick's themed haunted house. I'm not trying to give legal advice. All I am saying is these things exist, and you should do your own research, especially if you want to go into a field where you're creating these things. I will tell you, it's much more personally rewarding to make something that no one else has made before. And why am I kind of on haunted house clowns? Because every person who chose to be the lowest common denominator haunt clown, they could have created a character that we've never seen before. And we've seen pretty much every kind of clown that there is. We've seen it. But we haven't seen any good tooth golems. We haven't seen enough nature spirits. We haven't seen enough Wendigos. We haven't seen enough fresh takes on trolls or German trolls or Norwegian trolls or Bearnese, which are like banshees but a little different. There's so many cool creatures out there that could be haunted house characters that we're not tapping into because we're going for the satisfaction of something that's comfortable. Monsters are not about being comfortable. Monsters are about being uncomfortable and taking risks and trying new things. In my opinion. And maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Well, the movie Leprechaun, they have paid that character. If a haunted house takes that picture and uses it to promote their St. Patrick's Day event, they're using the popularity of the Leprechaun to sell tickets for their attraction. So they're stealing intellectual property. I was an early adopter of Krampus, and I certainly taught a lot of folks about Krampus. He is growing in popularity. He might be on a stall. We'll see. But it was good to see that Krampus is being accepted in more areas. Psycho. Oh my goodness. I gotta throw something cool in your box now when I ship your werewolf. You are very kind and generous. Thank you. What me talking to you guys is the same kind of talk that we would have in the shop. Rue, who was on for a little bit earlier, I don't know if Rue is on now, but no, it wasn't Rue, it was Stan. Stan is another guy who works in the shop sometimes. But he has a friend who watches, and he asked Stan if the way I am on camera is like a personality that I put on, and I'm not really like this. Boy, and if I was a good enough actor to do that, I would be a way more interesting person, and I would be funnier and all that. But no, this is 100% who I am. Any conversation that we have here is 100% the kind of talk that we would have if you were in the shop. Now, we have some real heavy talk in the shop some nights. We really do. When we're, just bouncing around and talking. But there's something about art that allows you to dig deep and speak from an emotional point of view, which I don't do a lot. I'm not a very emotional person. I'm a rational person. So, yes. Yes, Camera Allen is Street Allen, without doubt. Okay. All right, now I have to look at a message on my phone. There we go. All right. That was probably weird for you. Yeah, likeness rights. Absolutely. All right, gang. So let's get back to business. You're all talking nice about me. It makes me feel weird. I have to grab a battery packet. I started my business from a point of, I work in haunts, what will help me? Masks, costumes, that kind of thing. That was an easy way for me to help. And but I also, at the same time, not just what will help me, but I want the industry to be better. I think the haunted house industry, it needs some classing up. There's a couple of shady characters every now and then that pop up, and we just need some stability and folks treat it like a real business. Oh, I absolutely think that people are afraid to be original and creative because of society. But our nature is, if five of us are walking together, is our steps line up, our steps sync up. We all kind of want to do the same thing. Oh, they've got an army jacket. Army jackets are cool. Let's all wear army jackets. And let's all be different goth individuals. Exactly what shade of eyeshadow are you wearing? Because I like that. Well, if you're matching shades, you know what I mean, then how individual is it, Hello, Wedge. You jumped on an evening where we're really headed down a path conversationally, so just brace yourself. Herd instinct, yes. Hello, Brandon. Okay, here we go. Absolutely, spastic pug. And there's everybody is staying out of the crocodile-infested waters. It doesn't mean you should be original and swim through the crocodile-infested waters. There are some things that we do all together because it just makes good sense. Emergency mouth surgery. Holy moly. Hope you're doing okay, man. Are you wearing a cone of shame like my dog Bella is? Because that would be awesome. And if you need one, I'll make you one, Jimmy. And Jimmy, I tagged you on something in Latex Mask Central. There's a young lady in North Carolina who wants some hands-on mask training. And I happen to know the area in which you live. And maybe you could help her. So I did tag you on that. And hopefully when you're feeling better, you'll be able to respond and say something. I don't know if it's a pay for classes situation or if it's a you want a shop helper for a little while and they gain knowledge that way. I just wanted to, you were geographically convenient to them. So now in Texas, geographically convenient means within 4 hours. So that may not be the same for the area of the country that you are in. But Texas is big. Like in Alaska, it's, oh yeah, that's pretty close. I was hopping my plane to be right there. Because you need a plane. I have wired that up. Before I do any solidifying of that, I want to test it with a battery. No, yeah, reference is a tool, absolutely. It should send you down the right path. That's what it does, and it helps you figure out what to do next. Okay, Ghost Eyes work. That wiring is good. I'm going to go ahead and wire it up. My goal, going on what Stacy said, is I just try to make stuff that I would want. I try and make stuff that I would want, or more importantly, I want to make things that people haven't seen. One of what I feel one of my biggest strengths is to look at a group of things and say, what's not there that belongs there and that people can use and need, what isn't there right now? And then I make that, that's why I started making monster snowmen. A full snowman costume, I've never seen it, where it's the 3 balls together. I'd never seen one made that was in that fashion. So like, how would I do it? I figured out how to do it, and then the snowman suits actually sell pretty well. Hello, Creepers. Ross is on. Good to see you. As far as making things that suck, you know what? Just produce more than you consume. And there's so much media out there to consume right now. There's so many things that you can um, take in, but put some out. You know, give some back in some way, whether it's making art or whatever. I think making monsters is my love language. I think that's something that I enjoy doing, and this is one of the ways that I tell my industry that I really like my industry. Yeah, Krampus is what an interesting tradition. You know what? I don't think I'll need this after all. Hooray, monsters. Fail before fame. That's a good sentence. That's cool. Very cool, Tony's animation. Hello, John Ranger. A ghost called Pokong. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Yes, Krampus is awesome. What is the next monster that I'm thinking of? It's actually, I've got this three-eyed goat creature in my head that I can't shake. And I know how its horns are going to look, and I know it's got 3 eyes. And I'm excited to make it. There's also, I have all the parts needed for my sea creature costume. They're all done. I haven't put it together yet. I cannot wait to put that sucker together. But I got to get through orders to be able to do that kind of stuff that I enjoy. Yeah, a three-eyed goat with fangs, almost a cross between a goat and a gorilla muzzle. Okay, a goat and a gorilla muzzle cross, but definitely the goat head, the goat ears, horns, and 3 eyes. I see that, and I know what I want to do for his full body, but I know how I want it to look. We'll see what happens. Brandon, I haven't seen any email yet, but I will look at your email tomorrow. Or I might look at it tonight when I get done here. So I'm going to wrap up a little bit early because I started early. Bring this down to the edge. The weirdest commission I've ever had. Well, I had a furry want me to make him a golden retriever costume so that he could sit around the house, lick his nuts, and watch Air Bud. His words, not mine. Three-eyed fish were pretty common where I grew up because I grew up in Maryland, pretty close to 3 Mile Island. We had us some three-eyed fish. Just grabbing some zip ties. Yeah, you get about one mask per can. Unless the heads are big, then you might need two. But also, as you improve your technique, you'll find that you can use less and less material for that. Okay, so I have a little, this is like a jewelry pouch, and that's what the battery is going to live in. I got to grab this a battery. Oh, I sure did price myself out of that. Weirdest one I've made. Let's see. I did a Lumiere for someone that was just weird in the sense that, you know, it was all UV and glow in the dark. It was a very interesting piece to make. And it used a lot of materials that were very new to me because they were very specific. They wanted silicone for all the candle wax and stuff, which made it super heavy. But it was cool. Hello, Rob O'Brien. A half dragon, half wolf split down the middle. That's very interesting. Have I ever developed a mask of an inanimate object? A mask that I made for a long time was it was a meat mask, and it was sculpted to look like a heart, because the scare that I had made it for originally was a dead polar bear, and he was strung up by his feet, and he was gutted, so his rib cage was all opened up, and the actor would actually sit on a stool here, just like this. There was a bear head right here, upside down, tongue open, you know, dead. And then there were paws, the inside of paws on the tops of the actor's feet, the white fur pants, and then you would sit inside of the rib cage, and the mask on your head was like his heart. And so that's what it was, and then, you know, your hands, you know, held the ribs in the right spot, and then groups would walk by, and they would see the polar bear's body hung upside down and blood all over the fake snow and stuff. And then the actor would get up out of it, and it floored people. So I've made a lot of gut piles costumes. Yes, the horns would be twisted and nasty. Yes. Other than that, non-organic. No, I mean, I make my apocalypse masks, and when I make those are they look like metal, but that's not what you mean. It still looks like a character. Thank you. This is a Haunt Shirts shirt, Haunt mode on. It's always switched on. That's how my life goes. I don't, Adam. I don't use any kind of release agent on sock masks. I just kind of do them. So, no, I don't. Yes, I would prefer to go with a cowl like a werewolf. I just love monsters. The masks that I have for sale are on the website, and one of the things that I want to do when I finish up orders is just make some fun, weird masks and get them on the website. So orders are great. I love orders because orders mean I get oatmeal for another day. That's lovely. But you know, I do the orders. That's the priority. The stuff I want to work on, I only work on Wednesdays. That's why the bear is sitting here unmolded. Maybe I'll mold it tomorrow. I think I said that yesterday. But you gotta do the stuff that people need, you know. All right, so now I have this guy. I'm going to zip tie this cord down. Well, it's figurative oatmeal happening, Mojo. It's figurative oatmeal. Shannon actually, she had a pork shoulder that she smoked, and that is delicious. So my keto meal for the day was a pork shoulder. I would do latex, Tony. I would sculpt that out. Now I might take a skull mask and then do all of the flesh, the peeling away flesh, with something like plastic wrap or something that I can paint and change up. That way, if I made 10 of them, they would all be a little bit different. You can't keep your smoker lit. Are you using the pellets? Because you have to hit those suckers with a blowtorch for a good full minute to make sure it catches enough to stay lit. It is a giant pain in the butt. Yeah, I might do two masks. Yeah, it's just not in there all the way. There we go. Thank you, Scott, for the link. Okay. Now I want to attach this up here. So I poked holes in it, and now I'm going to run some zip ties through this little bag, because this little bag is going to hold the battery. And that's what I used to do before I made these battery holders, but there's not a good spot to attach a battery holder on this. Must be the ginger. You can have as many Colblins as you want. Oh, other side. Da-da-da-da. You want zip ties to hit a certain way. So you really have to put them in. You know, they only go together one direction. You want them on one side or the other. Zip ties must be carefully considered. You smoke over a fire pit. That's hardcore. That's caveman times. Okay, so the bear mask is named. The bear mask was named Grizzlore, L-O-R-E, which I think is actually a really good name because stories, you know. This bear is going to make some stories. When I do haunted house actor training, one of the things I tell them is that 1 year of working at a haunted house will give them a lifetime of stories to tell. And whatever kind of bear it ends up being, I think it's going to have a good story behind it. Yes, they do carry purple, they do carry UV. I have seen LED eyelashes, but this is a Krampus, not a drag queen Krampus. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the drag queen Krampus. but I'm going to leave them the LED eyelashes for now. All right, so now I have a little bag here that's off of the back of the head, you know, so it's going to be out of view pretty much when the weight of the battery is in there. That's the thing. Let's get that hooked up. And then the battery just goes in there. Boom shakalaka boom. And then this guy will get finished up too. Krampus. Oh my. Well, all that I was doing was I zip tied this little bag on. See those little zip ties there? This zip tie keeps the wires from running around. These two zip ties just hold the little bag in place. So this battery is out of the way on the back of the head. And I'll do a fall of hair that just goes over all this. So this will get haired tonight. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 7:27 p.m.
Okay.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you, I will. Yeah, I'm thinking to 9:30 that I'll be able to get both of these guys painted up. Maybe I won't get eyes on them. That's okay. For eyes. Maybe I won't get hair on them. I'm going to take these. These LEDs are pre-wired super bright LEDs from Lighthouse LEDs. Lighthouse LEDs. They're in, I believe, Oregon or Washington State. They're up there in the Northwest. And I've used these guys for 15 years. They're one of the few American LED companies. The LEDs are about 50 cents a piece. If you want to buy a bundle of 100, they do give you a deal on a bundle. So there you go. Would you recommend wet clay or white modeling clay to begin with? Either is fine. Either one is fine. Psycho. Wear a mask to get his inheritance. There you go. And then shop tour. Let me clean the shop. I will tell you what. Why don't we do a shop tour on Wednesday night? Does that work? Because then I'm working on my stuff. I should be able to get the shop all the way cleaned up by then, and I can show everybody around on Wednesday night. I was going to grab some quick e-tape. Buy LEDs from whoever you want. I like to buy from the Lighthouse guys because they're an American company. I like the quality of their product. And they have the pre-wired LEDs, pre-wired 9-volt LEDs. I power them with 9 volts, and they already have the resistors on them already, and that is a huge time saver for me. Hey, Ronnie, good to see you on, sir. It's Rodney Pope. I think he's really dope. It's Rodney Pope. We think he's really dope. Yeah, Scott is a link laying down beast. I'll tell you that. I don't know what I did to make Scott like me, but I'm sure I'm glad I did it. Okay, a little bit of electrical tape over that whole connection, holding these two wires together. Okay. All right, now let's let's get that one set up, and we'll start painting us some masks. I have to clean an area of the table. That means just shove everything in this tub. Actually, all those things pertain to strapping masks. Fine. And these two paint jobs are actually kind of similar because one of them is an ice Krampus and the other one is a ghost. So they're both going to get blue and white is what they're both going to get. And let's move over here. One day you'll find him, the Krampus Sinatra. Because he's old blue eyes. I got it. I just got it. Ha ha! I don't know what I would do. Hello. Is it nickel bow or nickel bow? Is it nickel bow, like a hair bow, or is it nickel bow? But I think of Nickelback, and maybe that makes you sad, but I think they're a fine band and they get way too much internet hate. Like, Le Beau. Okay. I will not quit my day job. This kind of is my day job, and I have no other marketable skills. Let's be honest. This is all I'm capable of doing. I can sword fight, I can love my wife, and I can scare people. And that's all I got. Those are my skills I have to offer the world. If I can't find a way to make money doing one of those, I'm in trouble. I need another head form to put this one on. Now, remember when you asked if I used a release agent? No, I don't. So every now and then, you got to work to peel off a mask. Yep. There we go. Gravedigger. Nice. Okay. And let's set this to the side. We are going to work on that. That gets shipped on Monday. Would I want a death mask to be made of me? Would I want a death mask made of me? I think I want my whole body to be casted so that I could be sold as haunted house props. There's not really a really nice, cool old man, because I intend to be very old when I die, let's be clear. Despite my blatant disregard for safety procedures, I intend to be very old when I kick the bucket. I will put it in my will. Down to naming people to do the body casting, because it does take a skill set. See, I don't know how old they're going to be. It might have to be someone who's, younger per se. I have a little nub of wire up here that I'm treating. There we go. First of all, Ezekiel, I'm pretty sure I'm going to outlive Rob. Based on life choices alone. Call that mask caught in a zipper. I don't quite understand what that means. But, okay. And just like the idea of anything getting caught in a zipper makes me uncomfortable. Oh, it's making the face that it's got caught in the zipper. Okay, I can see that. I get it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm putting down that stuff you picked up. All right. Shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Good idea to shake any paint that you're using. Let's grab a big old brush. Alan's got a big old brush. Oh yeah. Alan's got a big old brush. Oh yeah. And by that I mean a 1-inch chip brush, which is what most of my painting gets done with. I'm not going to base this in white. I'm starting with blue. I made an executive decision. That's right, shake weight commercial flashback. Indeed. I have a little bit of extra shake. Okay. Both of these, we're starting with blue. And we're going to add white to the blue in layer, and build it up in layers. Remember that this forehead is different than the rest of the mask. I think it turned out pretty good. It's a nice hide. Just because I use the same mask doesn't mean that you can't contact cement a completely different forehead on. When I was first making masks, like 93, 94, I would take other masks and I would cut them up and glue them together in different ways. I took a Distortions Children's Dracula mask and made that into a leprechaun mask. At the time, my haunted house partner, his name was Gary, and he had like 6 sons that were all in like descending age order. And they were all like a year or 2 apart, and they all worked in the haunted house with us. And the youngest was named Jay, and he was 3 years old. And we made him be the leprechaun. And it was so funny because he was the leprechaun in his little area, and he would, when groups would go by, he would go, "Me gold, me gold, me gold." And that's what he did, and he was great at it. But he was a little kid. He was 3 years old, so he would pass out halfway through the night. And he would pass out on his set, which had a barrier up, so it's not like people could like touch him or anything. And then we would tuck a whiskey bottle under his arm to make it look like he passed out drunk. Today, like what goes through my head today, like how terrible and illegal that is. Yeah. You can store the 1/3, 1/3 for years. They would ask if you would taxidermize their grandpa. Wow. And I do mix it, and you can keep it for years. Yeah, I mix it myself. But yeah, I often look back and think, how do we get away with that kind of stuff? Okay, see now I've got a real dark blue base on there. It's a pretty bright blue, but I'm painting it over black. So this blue on white, the light travels through the blue, hits the white on the table, bounces back, and goes back to that blue a second time. So it's bluer when it's on white. When it is on the black mask, the light goes through the blue, you get one layer of blue, hits the black, and it stops because black absorbs light. And I'm going to move him a little closer just so you guys can see this. There's a museum full, I am dry brushing now, yes. There is a museum full of tattooed skin from different Yakuza. Dry brush. I'm letting that black stay in there. I'm not painting it so that it goes down into the black. These lines that go this way, I paint across them this way. So I'm not going down in that trench. And we're going to work these two up together because they're getting a very similar paint job. To me, ghosts are always kind of frosty and ethereal, and I love that frosty look on them. White, blue, gray. I'm varying the direction I put my brush on based off of the grain lines that were sculpted into the mats. And a lot of detail pops up when you dry brush. Could you tell all those little scratches and stuff were in there? Not until I dry brushed. Oh, a deer into a dollhouse. I'd love to see that. In a I don't ever want to play with it kind of way. Just a that's pretty weird. And because I'm doing this as a ghost, I probably will not pop the teeth very much. I'm gonna, because ghosts have that, they're kind of all one shade, and that's what I'm gonna kind of go for with this. And there are a pair of hands that go with this too. But I'm not going to paint them tonight. I'll probably knock them out tomorrow. What latex do I use? I buy my latex now from Brick in the Yard Mold Supply. But I used, because Psycho, you're in California, order from Douglas and Sturgis. Their casting latex was very good. And I used to order from them, and they were actually a very good price too. Douglas and Sturgis in California has good 5-gallon buckets of latex. Because you have to think about shipping. I order from Brick in the Yard Mold Supply. They're close to me, so it's easy. You're in the middle of the country, you might go more towards Ohio and order your latex from Monster Makers or Screamline Studios. If you're closer to St. Louis, you might go with Fright Props. There are a lot of good places to get latex from. Hardcore East Coast, out there where Michael Lassiter is, maybe you go with Engineer Guy, because they are out of Atlanta. All right, so now both of these have the dark blue on them. It's blue, but it's dark blue because it's the first coat, and the black is stopping it. This one is dry. And now I'm going to take this same blue that I'm using. Now you can see my piles. Oh, paint. I have white out over here. Just going to get a bunch of white on my brush and mix it into my blue. So I'm going lighter. Douglas and Sturgis. I don't. Let me find. I have something with their name written on it. That is Douglas and Sturgis. See that name right there? Dink. Okay. There we go. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Yeah. My dog saw someone moving and didn't know it was me. So they barked at me. Are you trying to find me? Silly boy. Buckethead. Oh, she's managing her cone right now. Oh, cone expectations. Goodness gracious, doggos. Oh. See, we're doing mask stuff and then this gets interrupted by doggos. Sorry. Okay. Okay, don't eat that. That's a camera. Okay. Great. So that's how my life goes now. All right, and they're gone, just like that. Oh, wait, we actually have, Cheney has stayed with us on the floor here. So I'm adding in, and he's gone. Now I've got a baby blue color. And before he felt blue, and now he's going to feel cold because we've added white in with the blue. And that cold feeling will start to happen. I am going to hit his gums and teeth simply because it'll be easier later to paint white and the color of his gums and stuff over that. Okay, so this is our second coat. Take a look at that. See the depth that I get? I have 3 colors on this. I have black, I have blue, and a light blue. Yes. A 9-volt battery powering 2 LEDs, it'll last 3 or 4 days. It lasts a really long time. When I do Transworld, I don't even turn off the lights. Like I leave them on at night, and it lasts the whole show. Not in your way? A little. Yeah, it depends on how many LEDs you have hooked up. It all depends. Have people gotten harder to scare over the years? Yes. Yes, they have. Just your audience is getting more savvy. Look at what scared people. People were passing out in the Frankenstein movie premiere from fright. Well, and now that movie is considered slow and boring. We're just overexposed. People are overexposed to things that are supposed to scare them. Um, and that leads to an audience that's harder to scare, absolutely. Doesn't mean it can't be done, just means it takes a little more work. And you have to be a little more creative, I think. So really, surprises are what's going to get you the best bang for your buck. Thanks, Lisa. And this should look pretty much the same. Thanks for that Douglas and Sturgis link. I appreciate it. Also, the fun is in scaring them with things that they didn't think were scary. I think that's one of the best things. I like jump scares. I like jump scares. I don't mind jump scares. I don't think it's cheaper in any way to scare somebody with a jump scare. It's how you follow it up. Okay, we're getting a lighter blue now. You do need a mix. It doesn't, because of the way that they're built. If you look at this mask, the actor's eyes are underneath, and the LEDs are above, and they have their own socket. So I can tell it's on, but it doesn't. There's nothing. If the LED was inside with it, that's all I would see. Or if there was a screen, it would bounce off of that screen. That'd be all I could see. So if you put a screen over it, sometimes that causes more problems. But yeah, it doesn't have any issues. Hello, Darren. Good to see you on. Yeah, the jump scare is often a trigger that allows psychological fear to set in. And you need that jump scare to happen so that the body is kind of primed and ready for psychological fear, which takes longer to set in. There's a crash, if you hear a crash at night when you're taking the garbage out, the crash might give you a startle. If you turn and look and you see it's a dog who's going the opposite direction, that's fine, then you're no longer scared. But if you turn and look and it's a bear and they're headed your way, then you start building up some psychological fear out of that jump scare. Hello, Linda. Okay, so we can see the two different states of these masks. That one is just a little more lighter, but it has more drama and more pop to it because it has that extra layer of paint. And that's what's about to happen to this one. Jump scares have to set up. They got to set something up. A jump scare for the sake of a jump scare is cheap. But a jump scare that leads to something, that's cool. Okay. Happy with that. Now I add more white. Thanks, Hugo. You're a very supportive person, and I appreciate that. Yes, there is. What I use most of the time is from a company called VFX Creates, and they have a minion sound system that I use in my stilt costumes quite a bit. It's a minion sound system from VFX Creates. I have one of their Puppet Master systems sitting right over here because this guy is going to get put into the Hunchback. It's a sound system loud enough to wake the dead, they say. So, VFX Creates. You know what? Depends on what's happening with the strobe lights. I feel the same way about UV lights most of the time. But we're going to do some effects in our underwater show this year that rely on UV light. And I couldn't do them if I didn't, you know, but you know, you have to. I couldn't do those effects if I didn't use the UV light. Alexa, add hair to my shopping list.
I've put hair on your shopping list.
Okay, now I'm really getting that drama in this mask. Yeah, cat sound is good. Yeah, I'll put a sound system in costumes all the time. That one is destined for the Hunchback because you kind of have a hand free to hit buttons. Okay, now I think I'm going to go through with some pure white. Pure white. I'm going to get as much of the blue as I can off of this brush. So a sound system like that is about $200. It's in the $250 range. But these are meant to be isolated. Really good computer speakers, if it's for something that is stationary and not moving around, go with good computer speakers. But this is meant to travel. You know, it's battery powered. It's a small unit. You know, you program it. This is the actual size of the speaker. You know, that's the speaker right there. But it's in a nice case, it's well protected, and I put these in a pocket. Normally I put them in a pocket right here in the chest. In the Hunchback, yeah, it goes right here. So, I mean, these are pretty great. Hey, wife. Are you going to read comments? Right over there, if you don't mind. Wife is here. Yeah, questions are good. Yeah, VFX Creates is an awesome company. I do not make my own fog juice because people have to breathe it. And what if I make a mistake? Then I've killed a bunch of people. I use Froggy's Fog. I use their fog juice. It's one of those things where Frugal Allen, the money savings isn't worth the future possible lawsuit. Remember though, I'm a professional and I have to worry about those kind of things. If you want fog in your yard, you want to make your own fog juice, maybe you're less liable. I don't know. No, he will probably get mailed on Monday, Psycho. He'll be mailed on Monday. Joe Jackson, Last Action Hero, good to see you on. Everyone is saying hi, Shannon. Yeah, two-way radio, that works good. I used to actually set up a lot of baby monitors. We would have baby monitors so that an actor in one central location could hear where people were and then hit the talk button and and get another throw scare to them.
Suggestion for making fake razor wire for a prison.
Fake razor wire for a prison?
Yes.
What I would probably do is get the twisted wire for fencing that is not barbed wire, and then take your foil tape and for your AC ducts, like metal tape, and just cut it into 3 or 4 inch strips and fold it over until it's the right thickness. That would look pretty good as concertina wire. Concertina wire is what that's called. Or you can also take I have some, but it's all rolled up in storage. It's plastic fencing that's about a 1/2 inch squares. It's plastic, so it's cheap. And I will cut that into, just cut it long ways in strips, and then you get all these little barbs on it. So that's closer to barbed wire more than razor wire, but it does the trick and it looks good. We use that at Dark Hour a lot. Yeah, aluminum tape, man, that's the way to go.
Psycho-Lax Man. If not, I'd like to buy the speaker if you program it. How much?
If not, you have to go back to what he said before that. It sounds like he's.
I didn't know if you already.
I don't think I've seen it.
I said, did you mail the Wolfman?
Oh, I gotcha. You're thinking about adding the sound system to the Wolfman. We could. Let me look and see how much time that would take, but that is certainly a possibility. Let me look into it tonight, and then I will get you back a price with sounds loaded and all that stuff. All right? There you go.
Body geek on cutting foam with the aluminum tape. He said, perfect. I was thinking of cutting foam, but the aluminum tape is way easier.
Yes, I saw that. Pure white. I was getting white off my brush, and I set my brush down. Joe Jackson, Last Action Hero. What knowledge did you miss, my friend? Because I'll say it again. I'm not proud. I'm not one of those people who say I'm only going to say it once.
Psycho-Lax Man says for the Wolfman.
You want Wolfman noises. I got you. I understand. I get.
Michael Astor says what he says means to say psycho is he has to call Jake after the screen.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have to. I think I have all the werewolf stuff on my computer. Actually, I'm way more of a werewolf guy than Jake is.
Is there any phosphorescence going on the mask?
I wasn't going to. This one it wouldn't make sense. This one it would make sense. But I'm going to let them treat the mask the same way they treat the whole costume if they want to do that. It would be really weird if just the face glowed and the butt. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it's a personal choice. Your own personal phosphorescence.
What scares you?
Boy, I think it'd be really scary if there was some kind of a crazy virus going around that made everybody shut up in their houses for months. Wouldn't that be scary? No, I'm going to be honest with you. Not a lot scares me. I'm a pretty simple person, and I don't scare easy. I'm mentally stable in so much as any artist is, I think. There we go. I just don't scare easy, so I don't really have. I don't have anything. My life is controlled to a degree to where I don't have those kind of weird fears. I'm a very stable artist person, which is rare and weird. I get it, but that's. There's nothing I'm really afraid of. I don't like falling from great heights, but I think that's reasonable. Okay, trains. Trains. In my youth, I used to jump onto trains to go into Aberdeen because I lived right near train tracks that went right into Aberdeen Proving Ground. There were trains going there all the time. So we would take trains from Edgewood to all over Maryland. But we'd hop onto a coal train. And there was a time when I was halfway across a bridge walking and the train came and I had to hang onto the side and get as far off as I could. And you don't know it, but there's a little wire curb feeler thing on every freaking train car. So while I'm hanging on, like here's the end of the post of the road bridge. I have a knee up on one, I have my toe up on one, and I have my elbow in this hand. And I'm holding myself while a cargo train goes by. And every single one of those little pieces of wire hit me as it went by. And if I had let go, I would have dropped about 25 feet into water and rocks. So I did not want to let go. So I don't like being close to moving trains. But I think that's a perfectly rational thing to not like. But since then, I'm a little more leery of it.
So sure.
Honey, what's today's date?
Today is May the 2nd.
Shouldn't be a problem, Psycho. Shouldn't be a problem at all.
I don't know if I missed the answer, but how many layers of paint do you do? Always 3 or 4, or does it vary with the specific mask?
I do what looks good. I think you have to have at least 3 colors on a makeup job or a mask before it is done. At least. Like that's your minimum is 3 colors. Otherwise you can't get depth. But it varies. I might have 15 layers of paint on a mask. Because when I'm done with the dry brushing, then I go to airbrushing, and I'm going to airbrush a couple colors on. But as far as layers of dry brush, probably 4 or 5 is what I like to do the most. But it has to, how is it doing that day? Is it, does it pick up well, or, maybe I need to go a little heavier?
You ever gotten scooped in a haunt?
Yes. Working alone sometimes in a haunt, yeah, you can get a little scooped out. It was like 4 in the morning, and I am leaving the haunted house, and I'm using my cell phone for light, and I'm just, every time I have to go back to the middle of the haunt to get a set of keys that were there so I could leave for the night. So, and I'm going, and as I'm hitting, I somehow managed to call my friend Bob, and then I managed to not hear the ringing, and I hit speaker, apparently, just as he said, hello, because I was calling him at 4 in the morning, and he was not accustomed to that. So, I'm like, holy crap, hearing a voice when it was pitch dark. I'm using my phone to navigate. That got a good startle out of me. That's the best I've been scared in years. Carry on, wife. Do you have any more?
So Stand By Me is your childhood story. Did you find a dead body?
That was not connected to any dead bodies I may or may not have found.
When I ordered a fishman blank from you to make an anglerfish, can I pay you extra for the light already pre-made that I can attach it to? I have zero experience with wirings.
Sure. Do you just want to buy an anglerfish version, or do you want to do it yourself? Because we could work that out.
I'm watching you while making face masks.
That's awesome.
How much would the speaker be for the Wolfman?
I don't know. I'd have to look because I'd have to talk to VFX and get one sent to me really fast, get the sounds put on it, and go. Because that unit is a puppet unit, not a costume unit, which is slightly different. Okay, and I think both of these guys are done with that portion. I now want to go in with other colors on this one.
My hope is Monster Camp. This is Hugo from Brazil.
Hugo!
My hope is Monster Camp. I have no talent for fine arts. I work with software engineering. Help out.
You know what? Lots of people come to Monster Camp who have never made a mask before. Maybe they've never even sculpted. It doesn't matter. I will get you where you want to be. You will have a finished product that you made, that you sculpted. And that's what it's all about. Then you can practice on your own and whatnot, but don't sweat wanting to have a certain skill level before Monster Camp. That's not why we Monster Camp.
This is on the anglerfish. I want to paint and finish the anglerfish myself.
Okay.
It'll be a fun project. It's something I wanted to do for a while. I just want the light part done because I don't have any experience.
No problem. We can do that.
It's nightmare fuel stupid.
But you did see exactly how to wire up LEDs tonight. You saw it twice.
You guys says, okay, perfect. I want people to think they have to have
No.
experience to do monster camp. That's the whole reason.
But Psycho, you're looking at about $300 is about what you're looking at because I have to get the unit myself. We program it with custom sounds and get it set up. And then I'm going to have to make modifications to the chest to make sure it has a pocket to hold the sound unit in it. But it's certainly possible. I bet it's even possible by the 19th.
Nightmare Fuel Studio says, I'm afraid I'll mess up the lights and wires scare me.
Wires scare me. Well, these are only as strong as a 9-volt battery. They hear your allergies, honey. Shannon is fine. She's had an allergy attack kind of all day.
Let's see. Psycho says, just forget the speakers.
Yes.
I'm good, guys.
Practice your werewolf noises.
Spring, once in a while, something will blow in and it'll be stronger than I am. Well, it doesn't happen often, but it did happen today, sadly. But easily fixed, allergy medicine taken, sipping some tea, we're good.
When I do the sound systems, what I try to do is I try to buy enough from VFX that I can sell it for the same price that they do.
Oh! Sorry, that will never stop.
You said just forget the speakers. That's what you said.
That'll never stop shocking me.
Psycho. I appreciate that. Let's shoot some emails back and forth and try to get it squared away. Okay, man.
I'm afraid of wires too. As soon as someone starts soldering, I tune out.
You didn't see me solder. I didn't do any soldering. I don't like soldering either. It's fiddly, tiny, and I'm not good at it. I got sausage fingers. That's why I buy pre-wired LEDs.
Greetings from Brazil. My English is not good, but I learned a lot from your videos. I make realistic latex masks here.
Cool.
Thank you for sharing. Pablo.
Krampus.
Krampus. Pablo, I hope I said that right. Love an emoji.
To the bam.
That's tree fitty. Mask made out of wires and microchips like the Seed and Superman 3.
There is a Tetsubo Man? Tetsu Man? There is a Japanese horror movie where the guy kind of turns into a machine. Very cool imagery in that. These two are pumpkin teeth. These two right here, yes. They're added on. Yeah.
Jumping ahead of me.
I'm sorry, I was used to reading my own.
Stop reading. So what is the mechanism that they make machine guns appear to be shooting for real? I see you. I'm watching. I see you.
What?
I'm watching.
Oh, I forgot she's looking at the
I'm
camera.
looking at you,
So
I can't see what
if I
you're
roll
doing.
my eyes at the camera, she sees it.
I can see you. Oh my God. Did you forget I'm here?
I forgot that you're watching
Oh my
the stream
God, I'm
too.
looking right at you, making these faces, and like I'm not in the room.
Well,
No.
a lot of, in lower budget movies, the machine gun muzzle flash is actually CG. They just track it with CG and they put in the muzzle flash there. And big budget movies too, it just looks a lot better. Or there actually is a muzzle flash because the gun is firing blanks. So there you go.
Do the nightmare's teeth open and close, or are they just one solid piece?
No, they attach to your teeth. So they fit onto your teeth. And then when you open and close your mouth, it opens and closes.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Maybe I shouldn't roll my eyes as much as I was
can't
doing.
see. Spastic bug. Psycho, why don't you pay for my electric bill while you're at it?
He's just trying to get himself a really cool werewolf. That's all.
Oh my God.
Psycho, let's talk through email and let me make sure that we are. Okay? I think I can get us there. I think we'll be good. Yes, sir. But let's do it that way.
So busted, bad move, Alan. Busted, awkward, right? I'm not even, like, forget I'm here.
Psycho is ready for a cool werewolf.
Well, he's gonna get it too. Thank you, Scott. That's the monster camp link. Do you think if one were to want a vampire shark, you could do fangs with pumpkin teeth?
Hold on.
Do you think
Well, no, I heard you. Who wants a vampire shark?
that's not important?
Like who is that?
Why do you need to know who it is?
Like, are
Well-
sharks not scary enough? Are vampires not scary enough? You have to have a vampire shark?
You're questioning the customer.
If somebody orders a clown shark, I'm out. Like, I'm right out. Like, I'm leaving.
You're not either.
Clown shark, vampire. Why not a werewolf shark? Let's put hair on it.
Oh my God.
Yes, we could make a vampire shark.
There you go. With pumpkin teeth.
With,
Easy.
with pumpkin teeth.
That's right, with a smile on your face.
Yeah, we can make a vampire shark. No problem. We're happy to help you.
Body geeks. No, in haunts I have seen air-powered machine guns that appear to be shooting, like Statesville Prison.
Oh yeah, that's like the 50 calibers and stuff. Absolutely, that's just an air valve, and what you're seeing is a blast of air or CO2 come out of it. Paintball guns have the same thing.
Some have a butane valve that produces a small pop in prop machine guns.
Yeah, Boy, what was the company that used to do all of the big 50 calibers?
Or flint spark mechanism like the old toys.
But we just have an LED. We use LEDs. LED in the inside, and it fires off the same time as the pop, and that burst of air across it, because it actually, we didn't have to do this because it sucks in air with the fog, so it shoots out the fog, and that works just fine. I think, let me see if Jake Farmer from Effects to Go has a video on it. Now I'm going to make a nice tooth color, and that's the only bit of warmth I'm going to put on this.
How about clown shrimp? Vampire clown shark? That's a moray. Probably what a Sharknado fan. Now I definitely want to do it. Plastic Ninja wants a vampire shark.
Plastic Ninja. What Halloween thing do you hold sacred?
What about a vampire clown bear? That's Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, you're not helping.
Whale shark shrimp is a real thing. No clowns. A werewolf shark makes me think. Psycho asks me. I would love to get 50 caliber prop gun.
Why?
Will the clown vampire shark come with a squeaker nose? Three-headed vampire shark.
Honey, no longer read me comments about three-headed vampire sharks.
Jumping Jake Farmer or bad wrestling promo fame?
Yeah, that's the one.
Actually, Psycho has me wondering what he does for a living if he is married. What in the world? Plastic Ninja. I actually want to use it for a non-Halloween costume. Stacy. It's a truth universally acknowledged that a single man is in profession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Stacy Hawkins, I salute your Jane Austen. Leatherface. Psycho Axeman, you've got some ladies who are wondering if you are single. You guys are terrible.
Well, he's going to have a dope werewolf costume, that's for sure.
We're just about ready to ship him off.
And that always got me the ladies.
Jake from State Farm with khakis. Why a 50 caliber for a vampire shark sniper costume, of course. Happen Mojo. Hello, Kirk Taya.
Hey, Kurt.
He's not single if he has a killer werewolf costume, says Ezekiel.
That's right. Yeah, you don't stay single long. That's how that works.
Linda Ford. County wives out there would let him spend the money. Jake from State Farm Shark with khakis. Stacy, a badass werewolf costume is always a plus in a guy's favor.
It really, really is. Okay, so these little horns up here are going to be the same color basically as the teeths. No, something fell off the shelf. Hey, love, while you're over there, can you message Michael Edwards and figure out how far out they are? Because they were going to swing by here to pick up that plaster head tonight. Ghost is right here. But this one requires a little more paint work than the Ghost does. Okay, so let's see where we're at with this. Single life is pretty nice. So there's your eyes.
My wife didn't appreciate my Halloween decorations up all over the house all year round. Anyway, the single life is pretty nice.
Well, that happens.
Psycho Accent says it's a gift to myself for turning 41.
That's awesome.
Shaggy Body Scooby Head. So the Wolf twins are visiting you.
It might be just one. I don't know if I'm getting twins or not. I have no idea. Who knows? All right, but I'm stepping back and I'm looking at these masks from farther away so I can just see them.
Oh, thank you, David. Your corner. Oh, right. Okay, the carnivore mask. I'm gonna have to find your YouTube channel. We'd love to see what you did. Hello, third degree of terror.
Can you send a link to Michael or Scott and have them post a link to your YouTube channel?
Thank you very much. Anytime if you guys do any unboxing, those are hilarious. Had no idea those were a thing, but
Cobwebs did one, Michelle did one.
and Plastic Ninja did one, and
Yeah.
they are a riot. So I definitely want Cobwebs to do one on the shark for some special things we put in there for him. Is he on tonight?
Who was that?
Cobwebs?
Yeah, I believe so. At least he
News on
was.
the green shirt. Rick Mattia. Hello. No news on the green shirt yet because again they're looking for a printer, and but we will.
There will be green shirts.
Brandon, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life anyway.
Yeah.
Michelle Schulte, I'm still holding out for a suit. You getting a hair suit, Michelle? You getting a big hair suit? Yes to green shirts. I am so surprised, you guys.
I'd wear the heck out of them.
Everybody always wants black. And I'm thrilled with the idea of a green shirt because you sure will stand out on a show floor and walking around in a sea of black t-shirts and hoodies if you've got a
Well, you can't link because for some reason YouTube won't let people, unless they have the right permissions, link on it. So, all right. So next up, these guys, we're going to do some airbrushing. This is where I get mocked for my airbrush not being clean.
Can't wait to get your box. Jamie Thaxton, you have been shipped.
Your face has been shipped.
Your face has been shipped.
Hey, wife.
It's going to be awesome. Yes.
Can you talk to these fine people for a moment
Yes.
while I step away?
Okay. So, we're gonna start yet another chapter here. We're gonna call it Things You May Not Know About Team Hoffs. And that is that we are absolute ridiculous bird nerds. We are bird watchers. It's true. When we travel, we have a bird bag, and it's got our bird book, identification book, our field glasses, sketch pads, guides, field guides, everything that we need, and we are rabid bird watchers. And so if you guys are ever with us at any time and there's a bird around, you will see us try and identify it. And if we see a bird that we've always wanted to see, just ignore how ridiculously excited we get. Or if we find a bird that we don't know what it is, we will not rest until we find out about the bird. And so, yeah, we are kind of. I know that a lot of people consider that maybe an old person hobby or a retired person hobby. I don't know. There's always this stigma of it being kind of lame, but he and I are both absolutely rabid bird nerds. We love us some birds. Hey, nice, good try. We love us some birds, and one of our favorite days of the year last year was we were in California visiting my brother and his family, and my niece got us a golf cart on this resort golf course, and we just bird watched all day, and it was the best. So there you go. There's a little nugget of info on the wildlife we live, which is bird psycho. Thanks, buddy.
We know how to party.
I'll buy a bird book. We love us some birds. Thank you. Would you want to try this?
I've had some.
You already have it?
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up?
It's good, yeah. Very subtle in flavor.
Oh my, that is good.
Because of the lag, and Shannon got up and came over here and stuff, I think she missed the whole prison toilet comments.
It's coming.
Okay, then she's going to get me on prison toilets, and I'll talk to you about prison toilets.
Pat, this is Body Geeks. He just wants the prop in each set, a prop and set for each set. The Black Steel Bee Studios logo will pop on a green shirt. I think you're right, Warren.
It will.
I think it will. What do the Steel Bee stickers look like? Scott Drake, will you get them a sticker?
Where are they?
They're in the box by the. Grab a button, a sticker. See that the box there, but at the bottom, very bottom.
Got it.
Show some swag. Hang on, Scott. Hi, Justin. Yeah, your pig is in the air, man. It's on the way. Yes, Brendan, we are bird watchers. We are ridiculously devout, passionate bird watchers. I know that doesn't sound very cool, but we are. Get a magnet too?
No, but it looks like this. Sticker. Soapy Studios. Button.
And magnets, which are bigger.
And the magnets are a little bigger. Just a little bigger. Boris, don't eat that.
Lucky 2001. I can't wait to see my mask made and see the box either. Hey, Lucky, we got your order today, and we will get your pig started, your war piggin, and yes, you will have some little surprises in it.
Okay.
I rewatched. You did an awesome job painting piggin, Alan. Thanks for streaming.
Oh, thank you.
Ezekiel, Shannon, when are you coming to visit me? Heaps of birds here, and Alan is going to punch a kangaroo. Ezekiel, don't think badly of me, but first thing I want to see when I get to Australia is your new kitten. That's the first thing I want to see. Then I want to see all the birds.
My wife is exactly the kind of person to get on an airplane, travel for 16 to 20 hours, and to see a kitten.
So that's a great,
kitten.
I love that kitten.
One of those exotic Australian kittens in the wild you hear so much about.
Don't hate. Did y'all see any here in North Carolina when you visited Elizabeth Terra? Mr. Jimmy, yes. In fact, Eddie gave me a brand new bird book last year, and it was great.
Yeah, Eddie is well aware that we're bird nerds.
He knows we're nerds, so absolutely. My daughter's a big birder. We got Costa Rica to watch. Oh. Okay.
So, let me talk about prison toilets. As one does. So, look at the shapes of a prison toilet, all right? Because what I did was I made it out of plastic tubs. The base of the steel prison toilet was one of just an office garbage can that goes down, but it flares out at the bottom. And then we did dollar store bowls. It was a bowl from the dollar store, but we just built it and then spray painted it to look stainless steel, and that was our prison toilet. So we did like 6 of those. So just get plastic containers that are, look at the shapes, break it down into shapes, and if you put it in a cell, then you're in good shape.
Kevin Mojo says the cheapest way would be paper clay, paper mache, paper clay that will take any color on canvas. And prison toilets are steel, black gloss primer, then a chrome coat. Cheapest, accurate way, in my opinion.
But we just did it with the plastic containers because the look was really close to exactly what we wanted. Yeah.
Do you have any pet birds?
It was a toilet seat, a bowl, and the garbage can. That's what we used.
Do you have any pet
We have no pet birds. Because we have very active murder cats who would love for us to have pet birds.
Bedpans are less than $2 online, painted silver, they will work. when they created the Audubon Society. He shot every bird he painted all up and down the East Coast. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Big time bird murderer.
Yes, to Birdman. How might I go about making a Cthulhu-style lamp that has many tentacles? No, I'm sorry, Rob. Chibuli-style lamp that has many tentacles.
Well, he did his out of glass. I know who that artist is. He does glass work. I would do it out of plastic. What you could probably do is if I had to make something like that, I would tint clear resin. And I would, play with it to figure out how much cure time it took, because resin can, go pretty fast. And I would pour it into like plastic bags, and then I would manipulate it to get it those tendril shapes that I want. You'd have bubbles in it because you couldn't degas the resin that way, but there you go.
Plastic Ninja says, I got a button, a magnet, and a sticker. Yes, Plastic Ninja, and you've also got a King Ghidorah action figure. Got a bunch of stickers. I plan to sticker bomb my tool cart. I definitely need some stickers and buttons. I'll be ordering that Fishman sometime soon. Hope I get some. You will. And Nightmare Fuel Studios, when you order, there's a spot to send a note to us. Please remind me if that is specific. I have a lot of different things that I put in the container. In the packages. And if you specifically want that, please let me know. I'll be happy to take care of that. Yes, Psycho, it was my birthday on Monday. I was not here, I was working. Bummer. Kermitaya. I stepped away for a minute. I thought I heard something about prison bathrooms and bird watching. You did.
Yep, you didn't miss anything.
Yes.
Apparently you caught it all.
You heard it. There is an adult novelty shop that sells tentacle products. Not sure that's the type of tentacles you want though.
It's not what you want. Don't go there.
Or you might, no judgment.
Or you might. You can also take clear plastic again, fold it over itself, and draw your tentacle shapes with a soldering iron. Okay, close off the ends, and then pour your resin into that. And then, as it starts solidifying, you can fine-tune your shapes.
Cool, this is Body Geeks talking about the prison toilets. I need several, so I was looking at the cheapest way to knock it.
Cheapest toilet seat you can get from Home Depot. Biggest bowl plastic bowl you can get from the dollar store. And then, whatever I was saying. Yeah, plastic garbage can.
What color are you using in the airbrush?
That was black. I put a little bit of black around the LED so it looks less like a bit of light. I want it to look like it's recessed a little bit. So I put black around the LED.
Thank you, Brandon.
And now I'm just changing colors real quick here. As quick as one can change colors. But I want a dark blue, and I got black in there now. I've got to get a good degree of the black out, but some black is okay.
Must be my eyes. It looks purple around the eyes.
That is the LED. It does not show up blue. For some reason, it shows up purple on camera. I swear to you it's blue.
Ah, see there? Rodney Pope is asking about the Australian kitten too. We all want to know. Kittens are important. So are puppies. Can you get closer.
Yes. So we have something called June bugs in Texas.
Does you?
June bug.
Gross.
That got entirely too close to my wife when I flicked
Oh
it
my God.
because I wasn't paying attention. Had that landed on my wife, you would have some dead air while I ran around the room to get away from my wife.
Ooh. Edwards is 10 minutes away.
Okay. Yeah, so Michael Edwards is going to pop in.
You on live?
I don't think I could stop Edwards from jumping in front of a camera.
Great.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So I have blue.
Better or worse than love bugs?
What's that, honey?
Better or worse than love bugs?
No, they are way worse than love bugs. Love bugs are tiny. The ones from Florida, we used to get those kissing bugs and love bugs, and nowhere near the same thing. June bugs are, they have a thick carapace. They're solid beetles, man.
Krampus said, rude, I happen to be an entomologist, you know. My
Really?
mother is terrified of bugs, way better than love bugs. Ezekiel says the kitten is awesome and her terrorist training is in full swing. She loves it. I think she's chosen you, Ezekiel. I think that is your kitten. Case of 8 bedpans is $13 a year.
Get the big bedpans for fat people, because they're going to look more like a toilet.
Do you use ink?
Yes, these are Pinata inks that I'm using right now.
My doggo can get your doggos on TV. Now my doggo is freaking out. Shane's having a fit because he can't get the toy.
You can't get what?
The toy he wants.
Well,
Honestly, I'd rather get eaten by a snake than have that bug near me. It's true, I work in Everglades.
wow.
In Georgia, we used to have cicada killer swarms in our backyard.
Yeah, we had a lot more cicadas in Maryland, actually, than I do here in Texas. So this is just putting in some pure blue notes now. And I'm reinforcing the shading.
They're massive hornets that dig up your yard, but completely ignore you. With the cicadas. You walk around, you can just walk into their swarms and they don't care.
Okay, so I feel pretty good about this guy. He needs the effects and stuff on him. So,
Blue equals cold.
yeah. Blue does. I wish you guys could see how blue these eyes are. They're so purple on camera, it's crazy.
Yeah, they are purple, but they're blue.
Yep.
So
All right.
it looks purple. Can you turn off the LED so we can see it without them?
Sure.
Brandon B. If you're cold, they're cold. Let them in your home.
Yeah. Cicadas, he means.
My wife had a cicada land on her eye and wouldn't let go last summer. I had to rescue. That's terrible. Where do you get the hair for? Where do you get the hair for our mask?
JBS hair. JBS hair. It's all from there. It's all hair weave hair from JBS hair. But I mean, you can find that at a local wig shop, so you don't have to get it from there.
1980 MKE. My shrimp obsession is because autocorrect kept changing porn to prawn on my iPhone, so I just wanted to fix it.
Well, I'm not going to ask why you kept typing up porn on your iPhone.
Ooh, there's an ice cream shop in Ohio that made Locust ice cream a few years ago. Is that Jenny's, John?
But they're out of business now, huh?
Chris. This guy is so cool, I can't. What other kind of horns can you do with a Krampus? Would you do custom horns?
Of course, I do all kinds of horns. We do cray horns. All right, so I'm going to go a little crazy, speaking of which, on this paint here, because this is a ghost. So I'm going to up blast it with blue and maybe then with black for shading up underneath. And then I'm going to throw a shimmer on it so it's a little shimmery. What is he eating? Oh, delicious paintbrush.
Okay.
You can barely taste the chemicals.
Really great. I'm here in London. I'm heading to bed. Night, and thanks for the info. That's Tony's animation.
Good night, Tonys.
Crawfish horns, cray horns. I love the big horn you have on the Krampus in your online shop.
Man, look at my Facebook and look at, I think I have a sculpts or masks folder because I have some really ridiculous big horns on some of those.
Are you going to paint a sheet on the ghost?
Jordan?
It's not Jordan.
What?
It's not Jordan.
I bet they know Jordan.
The ghost of the man who died after he bled out from a zipper incident. That's 1980.
Oh, yes.
The ghost gives me distinct Disney haunted house vibes. I love it.
I wanted it to be classic in its nature. Okay. So let's see how this color. Oh, I think we're out of air.
That's why this mask reminds me of Ben Stiller for some reason.
Okay. Franks and beans. Beans and Franks.
Rain on the mask reminds me of wood, and I really like it.
Grim getting ghosts go out to socialize.
Okay, the others.
Okay, will you handle letting them in and stuff? Okay. Do I have permission to read comments while you're gone? She said no, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ha ha! She ain't watching now. She went away from her computer. All right. So, what they're doing? Yeah, I want to shoot up underneath this. See how I'm shooting it directionally? I'm shooting it up underneath. And this will not be dark enough, I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to do this again with black. But I'll do it with less. Can you see the shading that did? It's just going to make this a lot more powerful. Horse-drawn hearse. Out of my way, wasp. So, yeah. See, now you can see it has shadows up underneath of it. You can. I just have a little more control with the airbrush, I feel. And I'm going to swap out and grab straight black, but I have to put it in a bottle. Pearl brown. I understand. I hear you. I hear you talking. May 19th, your werewolf needs shall be met. I understand about werewolf needs. I have werewolf needs myself sometimes. And we're going to try and get a sound system on there for you. Okay. Black. Hello.
Hey!
I'm on I'm on YouTube Live, so just no curse words. If you come over here, wear pants.
Oh, dang it. All right.
Yeah.
Can I get my pass?
Yep, that's how it goes. How's it going, bud?
It's going good, man. Good to see you. Yeah, we
Good
weren't
to
sure
see
if
you.
we needed these, and we haven't really
I-
got-
I'm okay. You're okay.
There's always,
Yeah.
we haven't-
kind of.
All right. So anyway, hey, many of you guys probably know Michael Edwards.
Hey!
He is a haunted house person also. Let me put some up shading on this ghost. Okay. Here we go. Same kind of thing. I'm doing less of it. It's going to be more severe, but I don't mind that for a ghost.
Okay, I don't know where you stopped.
I don't know.
Stacy said, hello, I might have fangirled a little when I met Michael at Transworld last year.
Me too.
Did you hear that? Stacy Hawkins, she said I might have fangirled a little when I met him last
Okay.
year.
So now you see those shadows happening and really kind of coming out. And it gives it drama just sitting there, which I think is fun.
Saying, hi, you got it. Hi Michael, hi Michael, hi Michael, hi guys, be sure to stay 6 feet apart. Hi Michael, hi Mike, hello Michael. This is Lenny Williams, Patches a lot of people. Oh snaps, Michael, Psycho X-Man, oh it's tough. And a lot of these are handles, so I don't really know who they
I
are.
couldn't.
But now, I like that shading on there. To me, that helps make the ghost mask.
Ezekiel Bradshaw, hey, you know Ezekiel from Australia. Man, Psycho X-Man, yeah, all these people are saying hi to you.
Hi.
Hi, it's like, hi, hello. What are you picking up?
Plaster heads.
Oh,
We're getting heads, because we're going to start making masks up there. So we're getting heads. Yeah.
Yeah, you recently got a guy who makes masks on your crew.
Yeah, we did.
How did you acquire him?
Uh,
Thievery! Thievery is how!
scaring the puppies. You are
Okay.
scaring the puppies.
Let me grab my pearl essence stuff.
Just came back. What's the meaning of the wedding veil on the ghost mask?
It looks cool. I mean, it's drama, but
Stacy says you stole our work.
Ghosts have that ethereal quality to them, and as soon as you view it through the veil or you view it through the gauze, it's a layer of separation, and that often ghosts are pictured with some kind of a veil to have
Oh,
a
okay.
to have a it signifies kind of the veil between worlds, that they're in a different world than us. There's something different than about them, and it sets them apart. People don't wear veils anymore, so putting a character in a veil makes it different and makes it stand out.
Oh, when you can't get your baby.
Yeah, the baby Yoda that I made for on live stream lives with Michael now.
And he takes it with him everywhere he goes.
Maybe not everywhere.
Not everywhere. But when he's home, he's hanging in a basket right by our couch so he can watch TV with us. But I guess that's actually where he's at.
Has a baby, has a car seat. You have like a car seat
Did a
for
car
him.
seat for him. I had the baby.
Justin,
cover.
I can look it up. I know I've seen Hannibal Lecter masks with his face on it. If you shoot me a message, I'll have an easier time finding it.
Oh, he's perfect.
They're so cute.
They're huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Any kind of an air that's directional, you can do this
They
technique
are
with.
into.
So now I'm going to hit the ghost with pearl. This is just pearlescent.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm going to hit it the other way, so it's like a light shining down on top. This is the way. That's right.
Yeah, she got spayed on Tuesday. They get snipped on Tuesday.
See, now it has a shimmer quality.
Where's Michael? Psycho Axe fan wants to see Michael.
Wait, what, dude?
Michael, come on over here. Here you go. Hop in front of the camera and say hi to everybody. Yeah, he's really here.
Down from Colorado.
Yes.
Hanging out in Texas.
Over from,
Over from Colorado?
yeah.
Kind of over.
Well,
and
Colorado is up, so did you,
Yes.
you came down from Colorado?
down. Yes.
Yes,
He's
because
down
it
from
is
Colorado.
north of us on the map.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
North, slightly east, maybe. Slightly.
It's
Slightly.
it's
I
only,
don't know,
it's
she
only
was
like a
driving.
14-hour drive. It's not a bad drive at all.
It's really not. And we had 3 adults and 2 of them drove. So
Yeah.
that kind of helped.
Awesome.
I slept. I was smart. So.
I've got those.
Yeah,
Looking at
I
all
can
the stuff on the screen.
I
That's
can
so cool.
turn off. I can turn off this LED too.
Yeah, I should have brought Bart with me. That way you can like give him a hard time too.
I will so give Bart a hard time.
Pearlescence to make it glossy.
It gives it a shine. It gives it a bit of a shimmer. You know. So yeah, it just
Okay, well, this Vanna wine.
see that pearlescentiness in there. Yeah. All right. So there's that. Wife, can you talk to these people while I get him his heads?
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to people. It's like, so what do you see in Alan for? Well, I'm getting a couple of his heads. Yes, it's great trying to explain that to people.
Actually, that's one of the questions I had. Is that you're using these to make masks at Terror in the Corn?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Cool.
yes. With the guy we stole.
Right.
So-
With Bart, Bart worked for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
that's,
and he came in one day and said,
you're gonna have to let this
"Here's my
go.
2 weeks notice. I'm gonna go work with Michael
It
in
was
Colorado."
Bart's fault. It was all Bart's
Man,
fault.
big old jerk. Yeah.
It was all his fault. It was totally his
Oh
fault.
God. I
All right.
100%.
I do not believe you.
87%.
Psycho says he's a cool dude. All right.
Come on back, Michael.
Go ahead and go,
Turn
Michael.
away. Here, your heads.
So Michael is here with his wife Sally, and they are in from Colorado. Michael works at a haunt called Terror in the Corn that we visited last year because we were in Colorado for Monster Day, and Monster Day is Ed Edmonds' holiday that he has in the middle of August. And Michael and Sally are on the staff there, and we were there vending, and Alan was walking around on stilts and entertaining people. So it was a lot of fun. Because Monster Day is not a convention or a trade show, it's a street festival, for lack of a better word. And we, half of our crew drove the dark hour van up to Colorado so they could vend. And it was just the best day. If you guys have not been to Monster Day, I strongly suggest you try to make it because it is growing, and hopefully they won't have any complications this year with the virus and all the things that are canceling or having to be postponed. Because it was very different from what we usually do. When we get there, we were accustomed to this massive trade show convention morning hustle of having to get things ready, and everybody was so laid back. And there were kids running everywhere, and musicians, and people in costumes, and everybody just having the best time. So if you are a fan of Ed Edmonds or his work, try to look up Monster Day. It's in Greeley, Colorado. And we made it last year. We definitely are going again this year because it was charming. I mean, really, there's no other way to say it. It was just, it was fun. And it was a very different day than we've had in the past. It's very different. But it is a great time. We're talking about Monster Day. Come here, you. Oh, you're so weird. So we're just talking of it, but it is.
Monster Day is awesome.
It is awesome, and
It better be a Monster Day.
well, that's what we were talking
There's still
about.
plans for it.
Have you heard anything?
And
Only that we're still planning to do it.
Okay.
so, if you guys can make it to Monster Day in August, look it up.
Unless something drastic
It
happens.
is a great festival that's very different. It needs
We'll
support.
be there. Me and the wife.
And holy smokes, did we have a great time! And that's also where we got to see Michael's haunt, where he is director is Terror in the Corn. So Monster Day with Mr. Ed Edmonds and Miss Marcia, a great time. And if you can make it, you guys should try and come out and be there
Yes,
it's
Monster
an
Day, awesome.
excellent day. Joshua Howard, great! Come say hi to us. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll probably be in a monster costume because that's what I do at Monster Day.
I was giving it a push, Michael.
This way we can be both on this side of the room and see folks, or folks can see you. Michael's a honker person too. You have any questions for him? Maybe I answered a question poorly. You can ask him, and he will give you. If you have any questions for Michael, whose haunted house, Terror in the Corn?
Terror in the Corn.
Right, not corn fear, corn.
Not Corn Fear Festival.
What did I call it? I called it
I
something.
think I actually just called it Fear Fest or something like that, which
Yeah.
I think was
Greg's
Greg's
old
haunt.
font.
Right,
Yes.
right. So
Yeah.
So
You can see where my association went. But yeah, so yeah, he's a pro haunter too. And how long have you been just haunting for a career?
Oh.
Just haunting for a career.
for a career.
Right.
So in total, no, in total about 5.5 years, because I did it full time for about 2.5 years back in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
But now since February of 2018, that's all I'm doing is haunting and building and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but that's over a 30-year
So
period.
there are several ways to do it. I just started at 10 and just kept haunting. And he had a corporate career for a long time and then had to get back to what he loved doing for a living, which was haunting.
I had that opportunity,
Yeah.
so, and I'll never go back, ever, ever, ever.
Michael, have you ever heard of Hell's Trail in Pueblo, Colorado?
Joshua, I have not. However, now that you're mentioning it, I will look it up. That is not one that I've heard of.
And Scott, my right-hand digital man, just put up your
Thank you,
link there in
Scott.
the
Good
corner.
deal.
Thank you, Scott.
How does cold weather affect your haunts?
It
Tearing
makes us-
corn sounds outdoors.
It makes us cold. It actually does. Yes, it is. It's an outdoor haunt. We have a lot of buildings. It's kind of like an old ghost town theme that you kind of go in and out of the buildings, but primarily it is outside with a lot of fake roofs. When it's cold out there, it's cold, and my actors, bless their hearts, will fight through that cold for hours and hours and hours for your entertainment. So,
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
really the place where the school bus got hit by Alan's worst fear, plus an indie rock band. Is this
Trains.
Mojo?
Trains.
Is it school bus that hit?
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, the Greeley one. Is that something other,
Well, how far are you from Greeley?
about 35 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
what part of Colorado are you from?
Well, the haunt is actually located out in Erie, Colorado. It's at a place called Anderson Farms, but it's in Erie, Colorado, which is about 30 minutes east of Denver. No, not east, north. I always get those directions wrong. North of Denver. It is not a year-round haunt. However, we do work on it year-round. We actually have a crew of 4 now that work on the haunt and the zombie paintball.
It's a seasonal haunt with year-round employees.
Yes.
Because they don't just spring up overnight.
No.
You don't go out September 15th and sprinkle some haunt seeds and then poof, they pop up.
Sometimes I wish you did.
You have to work on them.
Michael, what is your greatest achievement?
What is my greatest achievement? Probably my daughter Sarah.
That's a good answer.
In conjunction with my almost 22-year marriage to my wife Sally. Those are probably my greatest achievements.
How close are you to Bloomfield?
Bloomfield. How close are we to Bloomfield?
Remember, he's only been in Colorado for 2 years, so I give him some slack.
Yeah, I want to say we're maybe 25 to 30 miles from Bloomfield, I believe.
How is Jordu Shell in real life? Is he more like Cartman or Kyle?
Well, oddly enough, we actually get to hang out at distortions quite a bit, which is a lot of fun because Ed and Marshall are like awesome people. Jordu is not there. He's never been there. I think he's actually working in California now, I
I
think.
thought he was California.
So yeah.
And you know what? Every time except last year that I was there, Jordu was there.
Okay, yes. Every time we were there, Jordu is not there, so I still have not
But
met him.
Jordu is exactly as crazy. He's not putting on a personality.
Right.
He is that nuts. He really is.
You just asked me that. It's the same question. What's my greatest achievement? My marriage and my daughter.
Bloomfield, Michigan.
Oh,
Was the
Bloomfield.
question. Michigan?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Broomfield because there's a Broomfield out in Colorado. So if it's in Bloomfield, Michigan, then I have no, we're however far we are from Michigan. I don't know. I'd have to get out a map. I'm terrible at geography and algebra.
Halloween has to happen in 2020. He's supposed to be at the Texas Hunters Convention.
I saw that
Really?
Jordy was supposed to be there. I mean, I guess if they still have it, then he's supposed to be there.
Great. That's great.
Halloween has to happen in 2020. I agree, and I think it has to happen every year after too.
Yes. And since Halloween is a date, it'll probably still happen. Unless they remove the date from the calendar.
Michael, you are an amazing good sport for letting us put you on like this.
Okay.
Are you having any issues with timed ticketing?
No, actually, the trickiest thing that we were dealing with time ticketing is that since we have 2 events, because we have the Terror in the Corn, which is the haunt, and then we have the zombie paintball hunt, which is a separate thing, we can only do time ticketing for one of them. We've yet to figure out a way to do time ticketing with 2 different events. But the time ticketing we're doing using on Terror actually has been a blessing. It really helped us keep control of our lines and our group.
So when did you guys start time ticketing?
They actually started time ticketing, I believe, the year before I started.
Okay.
And they did it in hour increments, but then we cut it down to half-hour increments. And it's nice that the system that we're using allows us to either expand or bring down the number of tickets we sell per half hour. So if we start getting overwhelmed, we can actually back off on the ticket sales a little bit, and we can adjust it accordingly.
I feel like we're putting him on the spot.
Psycho, he deserves
He
it.
deserves it.
He deserves it.
He is unflappable. You're
Yes,
not
I put him
gonna-
on the spot and he can handle it.
This is not going to bother this man, I promise you. Do you think the pandemic will push more haunts to do time ticketing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, if they're gonna have to control lines as much as they are, if we're gonna have to have 6-foot space, I mean, who knows if we're gonna have to do that. I mean, time ticketing would definitely be a way to help control the number of people. You know, you decide how many people you can get through during that half hour or hour, whatever you use, it would definitely help.
How does the high elevation, hang on, Happening Mojo, I see you. How does the high elevation affect your situation from making performing? The high elevation, how does that affect your show? The high elevation,
But how does it affect our what?
your show.
Your
How-
show?
For performers.
Well, for most of our performers who are from Colorado, it doesn't bother them in the slightest. For me, after I run about 20 feet, I still get out of breath pretty quickly. But that's also because I'm old. It's not just because of the high elevation. So,
So Happening Mojo, by the way, is in Thailand.
what now?
Happening Mojo, who's asking you some of these questions.
Oh, really?
He's in Thailand. And he's on most nights that we're on. And He asked very good questions.
Any ideas for how to deal with social distancing if it is still in effect in October?
Oh, wow,
How-
well, there's a couple of different things. So they're looking at it for the farm as well as for the hunt. And I mean, there's a possibility that we're gonna have to limit how many people we can let onto the farm property to kind of help make sure that we have enough room to handle the people that are there. As far as, we're probably gonna have to put spacing in our queue lines, and we may have to space out our groups a lot farther.
What
So-
ticket system are you using?
Oh,
Interactive,
do you remember, what is it?
interactive.
It's interactive ticketing? I don't deal with it directly, so that's why I had to ask my expert over here.
They are our catty corner neighbor at Transworld every year.
Gotcha, yeah, it's interactive ticketing.
They're my booth neighbor.
I'm not sure how to answer the next one, gosh darn Mike, I'm sorry.
We don't cuss on this channel. We're wholesome people.
I
I don't know how they do it in Colorado.
Yeah, I made the mistake of reading that out loud, I apologize.
Just hope the virus is gone by Halloween time.
You and me both, you and me
Well, it
both.
won't be gone, but I think it will probably be more controllable. There's a lot of hopeful signs mixed in. I'm not an epidemiologist, and I'm not a psychologist, but I do think by the time October rolls around, people are going to say, you know what, I want to go get scared. I really think that's going to be a thing, and that's going to happen.
And people are gonna wanna get out of the house. Well, I mean, we're admittedly even looking at like all the best and worst case scenarios too, like we're looking at tearing the corn and zombie paintball hunt. It's like, if there's a case of, if one can't open, can the other open? Like zombie paintball hunt, we might have a better shot at opening because we have complete control over the people going through.
Yeah,
we've
because
got some
they're contained. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
that's a great attraction to open in that situation.
Psycho Michael likes being put on the spot. He can take it.
Psycho?
It's true.
Psycho? Really?
It's
Psycho
true.
Axeman.
Well, no, he's responding to Psycho. Okay, I thought he was calling me Psycho Michael. I'm like,
It works.
I haven't been called that since high school.
And Alan just said he thinks people are going to be doing haunts by October. Paul Bennett, who's one of our listeners, is actually hearing it clear. So lots of times they'll
So a
repeat
lot of
things.
times they'll repeat what we say
Tell
in
him
type.
so he can be
Gotcha.
part of the conversation.
Yeah, I want to get scared outside of my house, which if you come to tearing the corn, we'll do that. And if you're really lucky, we will go ahead and scare you inside of your house as well.
Good question. Why did you choose this career?
Okay, short answer.
No, go ahead.
Short
Let's
answer.
hear.
Ever since I was a kid, I liked entertaining and acting and all kinds of weird stuff. I was like the weird theater geek. My parents introduced me to scary stuff by watching Dark Shadows every day when I came, which is going to age me now because when did Dark Shadows come on? Like 1969, 1970. I came home and watched Dark Shadows every day with my parents, so I liked scary stuff, and it just seemed like a really good mix of entertainment and scary, and I kind of fell into it. Meeting Lance Pope at Verdun Manor back in 1989, and finding out that working at haunted houses was awesome.
The chicks, right?
Well, funny you should say
Funny
that.
you should say that.
Funny you should say that, because I met my wife working at a haunted attraction. So while I didn't get into it for the chicks, I definitely got the best chick
For the record, I also met my wife while working at a haunted attraction. So there may be something to that.
baby chicken, so fluffy.
It's romance. Art Shell. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they met at Verdun. So, they have a running theme here.
It's romantic. Go to haunted houses. You might meet the love of your life. It does happen.
Broadway didn't want me. That's very true.
Hey Mike, how long does it take to go completely through your haunt?
Like when we're open or when we're closed?
It's about the same, isn't it?
Yeah. When it's open and everything's up and running, it can take upwards of 35, 40, 45 minutes. I mean, some people run and still can get through it in like 25, but on average, people don't go that fast through it, so it takes them about 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes a little longer.
Absolutely off topic. Who is the doggy door for? The little one.
That little doggy door is so my cats can make sure that area of the shop stays rodent-free.
Truly. They're very good
Yeah.
at that. I met my wife while I was working at Netherworld.
Ah,
As
see?
well.
See?
See there?
Nice.
See there?
Oh, we specified open, so that's...
I met Tony while I was performing a scary show at a bar. Not strictly a haunt, but close.
But something scurry.
Yes, Brandon, that's a kitty door. So The kiddies like to go in there and patrol, and we absolutely encourage it.
Our 6-month-old puppy is already will have no prayer fitting through that door.
So is that mask helping your hand breathe, kind of like Alan's glasses help his forehead see better?
Yes.
They did not know how strict I was adhering to policies, so they came in with masks in case I was going to make them wear masks. I actually have 2 big air purifiers in the room that do a pretty good job. They do as good of a job as me wearing a mask in this room. So that's kind of nice, but
What
out
thing?
and about, me and Shannon wear masks.
And we do that too when we go to stores and stuff, but we just, out of respect for our friends and everything, we want to do that if they want us to. We know we haven't been around anybody sick or anything because we've been practicing social distancing along with everybody else, so.
And if you had any symptoms, you of course would not come.
I would not have even shown up, yeah.
What theme are you going with this year
What theme?
for Terra?
Well,
We're going to venture out into corn theming.
yeah, I think
Be
we
corn
might
themed?
do something with corn. Well, the basic premise of the haunt, the way it's set up, is that it is like an old western ghost town. So we're sticking with that theme because that's what the buildings kind of work for. So kind of like 1890 to 1910 kind of vibe. Though we are starting to, out in our cornfield, we're getting a little bit of, oh my God, I just touched my face. We're getting away a little bit from the redneck theme. We're going to start going into, oh, thank you. Start to go into a little bit more of a
99% alcohol.
yeah.
That's for you.
Going into a kind of a carnival type thing. Where we're totally changing is that our zombie paintball hunt, which in the past has been kind of a hodgepodge of stuff for them to shoot at. Kind of cool, but never really going with the theme that we have. We're actually, Bart and I have completely redesigned it, and we're starting kind of from the ground up this year and turning it into this big military installation. And so it's going to be a lot better visually this year. It's going to be really awesome. Some of the ideas we've got, I think, are pretty cool.
Brandon F. says, I met my wife at a haunted house she was working at. Sean Rabel. Mike, do you think a haunter's life will be putting some how-to type videos?
Yes.
To see some of this stuff for the outdoor haunt.
Yes, we are going to. We haven't had a chance to really start doing any yet because when this all hit, we had to stop working for like a week. We've been back out there just.
And how long had Bart been there when this hit, really?
2 weeks. Yeah, like he was there like 2 weeks. So we ended up taking a week off and just started doing a lot of planning. We're just now starting to do a lot more hands-on stuff. So we are definitely planning on starting to do some more Haunters Live videos with some how-tos, and of course specifically dealing with working with the outdoor haunt. We're going to start getting some video of the zombie paintball hunt because that's our main focus this year, is revamping that. So we're going to start showing how we're turning these old platforms into like military buildings. We're going to start doing some pretty cool stuff. And yes, we're going to definitely be coming back and showing you guys how we're doing that.
I have no doubt that you guys will produce one heck of a show.
What kind of corn do you use? It's real corn.
Yeah, yellow corn.
They're on a farm.
That's something I'd have to ask.
Because of their, all right, here's what's funny.
Okay.
Having to be a haunted house consultant, all right, Queen Silver 32, because of where you guys are, is
Okay.
probably the type, variety of corn that you guys use.
We use about 7 different types of corn. I hope.
Don't they sell, do they sell their corn?
Well, they do, but but it's like to a place that
we
uses it
just-
for fuel. They don't. It's nothing it's
It's
nothing
not
that's edible.
public.
Yeah, that's what they don't put in. It's not. Now they sell the pumpkins and everything to
For a
everybody. but-
complete list of pumpkins and corn and squash and gourds, please go to our website and look under Plan Your Visit. And
There
it's
you
under
go.
the pumpkin section, and it'll give you all types of varieties.
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you about the corn is that the year before last we used corn that only grew to about 7.5 to 8 feet tall, and last year we used a different corn that grew to 10 feet, which made the corn maze part of the haunt actually a
We
lot
use
more
what's
intimidating.
called ornamental glass.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you-
but there are lots of varieties of corn. And if you're doing a corn maze, you want a different you want a different type of, and then do you want to sell it after, and what do you want to sell it for? There's a lot of questions for that.
Yes.
Michael, I would do it, except since I'm in such close proximity to her, I know there's a greater chance I'll be hurt. I'd be better off doing it online. So,
Someone is asking, how can they follow your haunt? How can they follow your adventures?
let's see. If you go out to Facebook, you can look for Terror in the Corn. And interestingly enough, there's two different ones. There's one in Arizona, which is a much newer one. I think they've been around for maybe 9 years or so. Ours has been around for, almost 20? Maybe almost 20. But yeah, if you look for Terror in the Corn in Colorado, you can follow us there. Go out to A Haunter's Life, which we're just now starting to put a few newer videos, but most of them are just kind of goofy, funny ones. So those are the two main places. I go to Anderson Farms.
And A Haunter's Life is what? It's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, Haunter's Life is on YouTube, but we also have the Facebook page for it, so you can get to it. You can get to it either way. And then we have AndersonFarms.com. You can go out to Anderson Farms on Facebook, but it's also Anderson Farms, Colorado, because they've got a lot of Anderson Farms around.
Ezekiel Bradshaw is our friend in Australia. He says, I better add Colorado to my haunt bucket list.
Yes, yes, you should.
He has come from Australia to America twice now, I believe.
To see Dark Hour.
MHC, to Transworld, to...
Nice.
He is unafraid of international travel. He's bringing Halloween to Australia. Let's see. I met Michael at Dan's Haunted House a few years back. You were great there, Michael.
Oh, thank you. Those were good times. I missed that haunt. It was a lot of fun.
Alan, what did you do before haunts, or has this always been your thing?
I didn't do anything before haunts. I mean, I pooped myself because from 10 years old on, I went out of diapers into haunting. That's just how I did it. So before haunts, nothing. I didn't have a career before this.
Are your floors dirt throughout the haunt?
Pretty much, yeah. Dirt, some gravel, various forms of that, yeah. Sometimes somebody mentioned the cold weather earlier. Occasionally it's snow. So, yes.
Did you ever put on a mask and get into character in the mirror, or just for fun wear them around?
Like at home?
Yeah, that's
for no reason? Yeah. So answer it however you want.
When I was younger, I did. I don't so much now. Generally, if I put a mask or something on, it's because I'm going to do some kind of dumb video or something that I think is funny.
Well, your Ringmaster character isn't a mask.
Well, no, a Ringmaster is not a mask. Most of my characters aren't masks, but if I still had Rig or T, I would definitely put that one on in front of the mirror and just have a good time.
This is at home, yes. You guys, Michael doesn't have to wear a mask to be entertaining at home. His home is...
I'm just weird anyway, so...
Is like the Smithsonian Institution of cool stuff.
Yeah, his whole basement looks like an old Blockbuster video.
It is
I'm
the
not
coolest
kidding.
house you've ever seen. A Haunter's Life. Thank you, Scott. He
Aha!
put your link up there. Thank you, Scott.
Just make sure you don't watch the first 5 or 6 of them.
Only watch the first 5 or 6 of them. Really, the rest are just struggling to get that production value back from what they had it. So yeah, just watch the first 5 or 6. Here to help.
Appreciate that, Alan. I do.
Do you have a he who walks behind the rose scare?
Indirectly. We generally try to keep our actors out of the rows of corn, off the path generally, because the corn is kind of fragile. So we can't really have anybody running behind the corn. However, we have set up motors and wires behind the corn to move the stalk. So it seems like there's somebody directly behind the corn, but we don't actually do a scare specifically like that.
I had watched all of the Haunter's Life videos. I wondered what happened to you, Body Geeks. Body Geeks this is a customer of ours, a friend of ours. He's going to open a haunted house in
Houston area?
I think right
Cool.
up to the Houston area, and it's going to be a lot of it's going to be outside haunts. So he's making a lot of notes.
Well,
So
if you
yes,
watch,
Psycho Axeman, put him on the spot. You're not going to. This guy's
I was
going
saying,
to.
if you've watched all of the Haunter's Life videos, I apologize. The first few.
If any of you are familiar with Verdun Manor and Lance Pope, Michael was one of the originals there who worked with him long back in the day. So he's
Used to be a great werewolf show here in Texas.
He used to do this a long time. So any of you who know about Lance Pope, Michael was right there with him. Mike, what is the limit of people do zombie paintball?
What's the limit of people?
Do you have zombie paintball?
We do. We have zombie paintball, which is done on a trailer, and I believe we get 20. It's basically two trailers that are put together. It's like 20 and 10, so about 30 people at a time. We'll go through, but we'll run multiple trailers.
We'd
But
love
30
to
on a
see a
trailer.
video of the outside builds you have done.
There will be some. There will definitely be some coming out.
Have you ever used actors' suit doubles to get an immediate back-to-back scare in a different space, like a disappearing act?
We have a dark hour.
Yeah, we have some of the other haunts, and I think Terror in the Corn we had a couple of spots where they used to do that because we did have twins, or we still have twins that work there, and we use them for that some, but we're not now because one of the twins is now our technical director, and he doesn't really have a chance to work the haunt while we're open. But yes, actually we did that with the Corn last year. We actually had 3 identical circles that were cut into the corn. You know, before you go into the haunt, there's a cornfield you have to go through. And it looked like the people, every time they would leave, they had 2 paths that they could take. And it didn't matter which path you took, it still just took you to the next circle, but we'd have an identical shack, identical suit, actor, and we made people think that they were basically going around in circles.
Michael, read what you're reading out loud, or else they don't know what you're answering.
Okay.
Like a winch with a bar on the end of one.
Oh, what's that?
I lost him.
There was something about a winch, and then you
Okay,
called
I got
gingers,
you. I got you.
small Amish kids. Oh, actually, we haven't done anything out there with Amish. I wonder if we should.
Any good suggestions for a drop panel location?
The Amish come protest, they won't do it after 10
Definitely, well, definitely not in the corn, but I mean, you know, a wall would be a good place for a drop panel location. I mean,
I'm loving this surprise guest haunter episode.
too bad Bart wasn't here.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It'd be a lot, we just sit the 2 of you down while Alan works. Thank you, Rob.
Stuff done, man. This is great.
I didn't even know these guys were in town.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how we could do a drop panel like in the corn, like a drop corn panel or something. I guess that'd be kind of hard to do.
You have to have it so it's like, more like a wall that falls. So
Yeah.
you set up like a wall of corn, and the wall falls, and actors can charge you.
It's a drop panel in your Wild West area. Where is your twin, by the way, Michael?
Now, are we talking about Mitch Rogers or are we talking about Bart?
Dude, you are twins with Mitch Rogers.
Because if it's Mitch Rogers, I imagine he's probably at home enjoying the movie with his family. If it's
You
Bart,
are-
he's at home enjoying the movie with his family.
No, Michael Lasseter, he said Bart.
Oh, okay.
Where is Bart?
Yeah, Bart's hanging out with Michelle and Gage this weekend, so we'll see him again tomorrow, and then of course we'll pick him back up Monday morning when we head back to Colorado.
Talking about the drop panel, saying it could be a feed sign. Okay.
That would be, yeah.
You could do a drunk wall of corn netting like they did in the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I need to go back and look at that, the one with Kevin Costner. I bet.
Yeah.
I think I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I need to go back and look at that.
That's a fun idea.
That would be something different to do out there in the corn. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. I'm gonna probably borrow that. That is a really good idea.
Are you sick of eating corn yet?
You know, I don't think I've actually eaten that much corn since I've been up there. Because I know the corn they grow out there is not necessarily the edible kind.
In order to have terror in the corn, you have to maintain corn.
Yeah, I
So
thought
if you eat corn, yeah.
I thought it was interesting one time. We actually had somebody write a review that actually wondered why we called it terror in the corn because they didn't see any corn. And I was like, so you didn't go through the big cornfield that's like a couple of acres before you went into the haunt? Said there's actually a lot of corn out there. I think you must have gone to a different haunt.
Yeah, that's lame. I mean, you guys have even got a pumpkin, I don't say, you don't have a pumpkin patch, you have a pumpkin acres.
Pumpkin acres,
Greg
yeah.
gave us a tour when we were there last year, and I mean, he was talking about when you have the first freeze and all of the vines die down, and there's just
Orange.
acres of pumpkins all
Yeah.
over the place. And
Sally.
About 300 to 350,000.
Would you turn off those light switches right there
which
for me?
is awesome.
All three?
Yeah.
I like that one right there. We used to do our drop panel.
Good. Back
as
on.
a survey board at the end of the haunt. I love that. Actually,
Wiggle that, yeah.
13th Gate
Wiggle it
did
till it
that
works. There you
on
go.
and off every few years. They had that chalkboard by the end of the hunt. That, were you scared, yes or no? And as soon as you go up there to mark it, that chalkboard would fall.
So, we're a little ghosty.
In Texas, according to my research, Pioneer 31G71 is a great late season corn for corn mazes. We used to do a drop panel as the survey board at the end of our hunt. You got that one. We all steal ideas from each other. That's a big benefit on this stream. Thank you.
I'm getting a picture of that. And that may be what they're using.
It also depends on what zone you're in.
No, I have to set this hair is really long. I gotta put it somewhere where the dogs can't grab the hair of it.
Well, they would never do. Oh, they're apparently all crashed now.
Okay. Ghost. Check.
Krampus. Yeah, that really is a great final scare. We've actually toyed with something like that to terror, just to see if it would. Is there a John Deere tractor? Actually, no. We have a bunch of Oliver tractors, like 35 or 36, I think, Oliver tractors. The owner of Anderson Farms, he's a big Oliver tractor guy.
What color are all of your tractors?
All of our tractors are green.
How many acres is the farm?
Oh God, I get asked that all the time, and I was forgetting. Like 300 acres.
Wow. That's good.
I get asked, I forget all the time. I think it's like around 300 acres.
Well, that's what I was saying is that, it's truly a working farm.
Yeah,
6
and the
acres.
haunt and the cornfield take up about 8 or 9 acres. So, I mean, it's pretty big. And then zombie takes up I think 3 or 4 acres.
How about you make little corn husk voodoo dolls and sell them as souvenirs, or burn them and freak them out?
Who would we freak out? The little corn husk voodoo dolls? I guess by setting them on fire? Yeah, I guess I can see that. That's a cool idea, actually.
They're
And you guys do have a big fire pit that you keep going, don't you?
Yeah, on the farm property. And then actually they've got an area that people can rent out for fire pits. And we've got something like 40 now, like 40 fire pits that people can set up and have a picnic or do whatever they want. Sit out there and cook hot dogs or roast marshmallows.
Body Geeks has got terror in the corn now, or Anderson Farms on Google Earth.
Yeah, the parking area is about which
16
is correct. It's a huge parking lot. We're very fortunate to have a lot of space.
Instead of an organ grinder, you can have a guy walking around with a box grinding corn.
I like that.
I usually make dolls out of old corn husks.
Sweet. I might have to try that because we've got a ton of corn husks out there. We were recommending using them for toilet paper there for a while.
Okay, I got him glossy. So. And I will do his hair tomorrow. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:36 p.m.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying your weekend.
I started early, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up a little early. Thank Michael for answering questions and giving a different point of view for haunt stuff. Psycho, Scott put a link up for Terror in the Corn earlier, so it's there in the feed, and hopefully it'll pop back up again here. But we're about to wrap up. Wife, you want to say goodnight?
Good night.
Michael, you want to say goodnight?
Good night, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We kept 75, 80 most of the night. You guys are awesome. And go make stuff.